subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Start automatically, because when the ship is galloping, it will generate a strong wind force and airflow. At this time, the first batch of wind shells that have exhausted their wind power will turn 180 degrees and start to replenish wind energy against the wind. In this way, the wind power of the Merrily is like a perpetual motion machine. Of course, this method is currently only suitable for the Merry. As for the 1,000 miles of sunshine, because it is too big, there are not enough gusts for the time being. Attention all positions. The Merry is about to berth. Frankie ordered in the control room of 1,000 miles of sunshine. The position of the berthing door is ready. The berthing position is ready. On the berth door and the berth, Kiwi and Maz responded with the intercom bugs respectively. The two of them were originally the cube sisters of Frankie's family, and also Frankie's most loyal female companions. Frankie went out to sea with the Straw Hat Pirates this time, and originally planned to leave Frankie's house alone. However, when 1,000 miles of sunshine officially launched into the sea, Frankie discovered the problem of insufficient manpower. This big ship, if there's not enough manpower, will fall into an embarrassing situation that cannot be operated. As for the members of the original Straw Hat Pirates, only Usopp knows a little bit more about these operations, and the others are bastards. In desperation, Frankie can only explain this problem to Luffy. Subsequently, the Straw Hat Pirates have a meeting. The situation we faced at the time was either let the 3 of CP9 touch these things, or we can only increase the manpower. As for the item that allowed the 3 of CP9 to touch the internal operation of 1,000 miles of sunshine, it was unanimously voted down by all the crew members. Then Frankie recommended the Cube Sisters, who have always been loyal to him. The two people's shipbuilding skills are not good, but their ship-breaking skills are definitely second only to Frankie. Of course, in addition to this, their ability to operate ships is also very good. The most important thing is that the two of them have followed Frankie for many years, and they can be said to be Frankie's super assistants, and the tacit understanding is full. Eventually, Kiwi and Maz boarded the ship as Frankie's assistants. Although they are not official partners, they are also members of their own family, and their status is much higher than that of the cleaning trio. Cool me. Luffy is sitting on the sheep's head of the Merry, and with the deceleration of the gust shell, the Merry has entered the berth at the bottom of the Kylie Sunshine mooring lock. The berthing door is closed, with Kiwi and Maz completing their respective operations. The first show of the boat swallows the boat is perfectly completed. Great! Even if you are diving in the future, you don't have to worry about the Merry. Luffy jumped off the sheep's head with his hands raised high. Captain, Kiwi and Maz follow Frankie's instructions and respect Luffy. Luffy smiles and nods in response. Bashyong looked around. The environment here is full of sci-fi feeling. Subconsciously asked, "Where did you get up?" "This way, please." Captain, Kiwi and Maz, one on the left and one on the right, lead the way for Luffy. The rest of the Straw Hat Pirates followed suit. Wow, this ship looks amazing. Chopper looked around with a pair of small eyes, constantly amazed. Robin stretched out his hands to mold the grooves on both sides of the passage, and couldn't help but said, as the two personal disciples of the world's #1 shipbuilder, their shipbuilding skills are really powerful. She has been on many boats before, but this is the first time she has seen a boat with such details in every place. How to say? If you have to compare, other people's boats are like clay dolls made by children, while the 1,000 miles of sunshine is an exquisite work of art made by craftsmen, and the interior of this exquisite artwork is full of various high-tech. On deck, Califa. Here's some more foam. Kaku has now turned into a half-human, half-giraffe form, expanding the cleaning range coming. Califa's body is now in the shape of a sheep made of foam, and her feet are also foam. She quickly slid to Kaku's side, put soap on the 10 electric boards and ran. That's right. The 2 devil fruits that Usopp brought back from Eni's lobby were eaten by the 2 of them. Originally, Luffy just let Califa eat the bubble fruit, which is convenient for cleaning the pirate ship. But it's useless to leave a Zoan devil fruit in the form of a giraffe. It happened to be eaten by Kaku. Of course, this is not to strengthen Kaku, but to weaken him. The three of CP9 are now demon fruit power, which causes them to be imprisoned by sea stone, and they cannot escape on the sea. As for the ability of devil fruit to improve the strength of Califa and Kaku, there is no difference at all in the Straw Hat Pirates. Miss Califa, we need soap bubbles here too. Sanji is wiping the floor, looking at Califa with red hearts in his eyes. Thank you, Sanji. And Califa's soap sheep came over. Sanji was so excited that his nose bleed during the ardent work on the deck. The 1,000 miles of sunshine left the capital of Seven Waters and embarked on a journey. The picture is here. The red frame screen, slowly dimmed screen disappears. Roronoa Zoro. Hey, look at his stupidity. What a shame. Vin smokes Sanji a hole. You idiot green algae. Do you know how to respect women's chivalry? Nami. Obviously lustful chopper. Yeah. Sanji is lustful. Brook. Sanji's lust is recognized by everyone. Yo ho 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 ho. Vin smokes Sanji. Hey hey hey. Brook. It's fine if others say me. You don't have the right to say me. Not long the screen with white borders gradually brighten. The screen appears. Luffy and his party left the capital of Seven Waters and headed towards Sabiti Archipelago in the direction indicated by the record pointer. When I went to the Devil's Triangle Sea area, I picked up a floating treasure box at sea. After opening, it is actually the signal flare used by Gecko Moria. Finally met Brook again. According to the position of the signal flare, the Devil bark sailed over and trapped the 1,000 miles of sunshine. During this period, Robin was heavily mopped up by transparent people. Nami is even worse. After the Straw Hat Pirates experienced the incident where the shadow was taken away, they finally defeated Moria under Luffy's efforts to turn the tide, Sir Crocodile. Moria, it turns out that you were beaten up by the Straw Hat too. Then what right do you have to laugh at me? Gecko Moria, I did this by accident. Sir Crocodile. You stupid. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fufurfur. You two idiots stop pecking at each other here. They are both chickens. Stop arguing. Sir Crocodile. Idiot. Gecko Moria. Humph. After leaving the Devil's Triangle Sea area, 1,000 miles of sunshine finally arrived at Sabiti Archipelago here. There is a supernova. Luffy beat up Tian Long Run in the auction house, which directly caused a big incident. Marine Admiral Kizaru came to deal with it and put on an awesome solo performance show of One Bite is Scary, One Kick is Supernova. Pluton Rayleigh, with the support of One Piece's right wrist, appears to help Straw Hat crew fight against Kizaru. Bartholomew Kuma shoots everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates. The Straw Hat Pirates are distributed on different islands. Holy Roger. Rayleigh, you still can't stand being lonely, Silver Rayleigh. Ha! When I saw the straw hat on Luffy's head, I couldn't have just stood by. Shiki, isn't the guy with the book in his hand one of the Marines? How do you feel that after he made a move, the Straw Hat Pirates were rescued instead? Roxy Zebek, it's too obvious. Sengoku, look, you Marines are so talented. Sengoku, ignorant. That's Bartholomew Kuma from Seven Warlords of the Sea, not Marine. And there is another reason for him to save the Straw Hat Pirates. The old man will naturally find him. Luffy landed on Nine Snake Island. When seeing this scene, Hancock was completely dumbfounded. Her secret will be known by everyone after Luffy experienced the adventure of Nine Snake Island. Empress Hancock fell madly in love with Luffy and hid Luffy in Hancock's clothes and sent it to the deep sea prison. The scene of Hancock taking a bath did not appear in the picture, which made Hancock's heart that had been hanging in his throat finally fell back. It really freaked her out just now. If that kind of scene that is not suitable for children really appears, firstly, her body will be exposed in front of the eyes of people all over the world, and secondly, the imprint of Tianxiang Dragon's hoof on her back will also be exposed. She is already a draconian slave and will be revealed to the public once her status as a slave is announced. Not only will she never be able to hold her head up again, but the government of the world will not let her go and will definitely take her back to be a slave of the Tian Long people. Port Gas d'Ace, Luffy. U-467 really shouldn't come to save me. Seeing Luffy break into the deep sea prison alone to save him, Ace's heart is going to break. Monkey D. Luffy. Ace, what are you talking about? You are my brother. I will definitely save you. Sabo. Ace, don't blame Luffy for this. You can only blame me. Luffy went to save you, but I'm still thousands of miles away. Port Gas D. Ace. Sabo, you have been losing your memory. How can you blame this? You shouldn't. The path I choose, let me go to the end, is the most correct, the right way. Sengoku. Hancock. You did it. Boa. Hancock. My concubine will not refuse what Mr. Luffy asks me to do. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fufurfur. Women are interesting creatures. Luffy has entered the deep sea prison, rushing to the 6th during the period. He released many heinous pirates and criminals. I also went to the 5.5th floor of the prison, bringing out a large number of ladyboys. After reaching the 6th floor, Luffy found that Ace was no longer here and was sent to naval headquarters for execution. Luffy released Jinbei and Crocodile, and then met Buggy, Mr. 3, and others, and organized a wave of prison escape. Then, just as the group of Luffy began to break through, the Blackbeard pirates also arrived at the deep sea prison. As soon as we met each other, the whole group was instantly killed by Magellan, the warden of the deep sea prison. Afterwards, Shiryu of the Rain appeared, took the antidote, and revived everyone in the Blackbeard pirates. Shiryu joined the Blackbeard pirates, and together they went to the 6th floor of the big prison at the bottom of the sea and released many legendary pirates. The Blackbeard pirates became super pirates capable of challenging any force in the sea. Group. Luffy broke through with everyone and met Magellan during the period, but relying on the ability of Mr. 3's wax fruit to cooperate with Luffy, he successfully broke through Magellan's blockade. In the end, a large number of pirates escaped from the deep sea prison. Luffy and his team snatched a warship and went to naval headquarters. On the other side, the Blackbeard pirates also went to naval headquarters on a big bamboo raft. In addition, some legendary big pirates also took the opportunity to escape, such as Red Earl Baloric Redfield, Douglas Bullet, Burndy Wald, etc. The video is here. The white frame video slowly fades away. The screen disappears. Chapter 127 Buggy's Foreign Object Splitting Practice. Please subscribe. Sengoku. Damn it. He let out so many criminals from Impel Down. Sakazuki. Straw Hat Luffy. You are so damn good. Crane. The reason why Impel Down exists is mainly to prevent those devil fruits with powerful destructive power from being obtained by evil people again. It was impossible to break through there, but because of Luffy's accident, the impossibly broken prison was breached. Polysolino. Jinbei also played a vital role. If there is no Shenping, even if they break through to the outside of Impel Down, they will not be able to get a warship and wait for Magellan to destroy them. Sakazuki. Anyway, it's all because of the pirates. Pirates should be damned. Ghost Spider. Sakazuki Admiral is right. Doberman. Damn pirates. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fufurfur. What do you bark the dogs there? Didn't you find something very interesting? The video on the white frame screen has been played to us. This moment is now. GOLD Roger. If you say it like that, it's really true. Then this viewing system should be over. Shiki, it's over. Can't wait to turn naval headquarters upside down. Ha ha. Rox D. Zebek what? End? No. Impossible. Lousy hasn't been revived yet. Kaido, forget it. Even if there's another question later, you are still in the blackout period. Charlotte Linlin. Wahaha. Resurrected several times without your rocks. You are so miserable. Sengoku. Damn. Is the big war about to start? Compared to rocks, Sengoku's mood is not much better. The 15-year-old youth he wanted has not yet been obtained. In this state, his body is not as good as before. At this time, the screen with the red border gradually brightens up. The screen appears, merry in 1,000 miles of sunshine, sailing on the sea. Compared to Steel Haki on 1,000 miles of sunshine, Luffy is still more used to staying on Melly. Moreover, the current Merly has been transformed by the jet shell, and It is almost a perpetual motion machine of wind energy, so there is no such thing as a waste of resources. As for the rest of the Straw Hat Pirates, Usopp needs to observe the sea conditions on the Liaowang Tower of the Thousand Miles of Sunshine. Sanji follows Caliphus. Every day, Zoro practiced on the Thousand Miles of Sunshine, because there's a practice room specially built by Frankie on the Thousand Miles of Sunshine, which is deeply loved by Zoro. Luffy, why did you drive the Mary out during the day? Buggy usually also practices on the deck of the Thousand Miles of Sunshine, but when he is not practicing, he will go around the Mary. Luffy lay on a recliner and said with a smile, I think if the Mary is kept in the cabin of the Thousand Miles of Sunshine, she will feel very lonely. Nanny. Buggy had an unbelievable expression and smiled wryly. The boat has no consciousness. How can it be lonely? Aha. Luffy also laughed at himself. I know it's like this too, but that day when we took the Mary into the cabin of the Thousand Miles of Sunshine for the first time, I felt that Mary was very scared and lonely. Don't laugh, I know it's a bit stupid to say that, but that's how I really felt at the time, and now, every day when I go out on the Mary, I can feel her happy too. Also, after sailing for the past few days, I feel more and more that the Mary really has its own mood swings. Luffy laughed while scratching his sea duck neck. BD Buggy, run to Luffy if you have nothing to do. Hurry up and go back to practice on the Thousand Miles of Sunshine. At this time, Nami came over and threatened. Buggy spread his hands. You've been relying on Luffy's place during the day. How dare you criticize me? Idiot, I have to take care of the orange orchard. Hearing that Buggy actually connoted her, Nami punched Buggy on the head and anger. Buggy split into tiny particles like sand, then quickly flew to the side and reassembled. He pouted. Everyone told you to move the orange orchard to the Thousand Miles of Sunshine, which has a sun shed specially suitable for planting. Then why don't you move? One Nami said angrily. I'm afraid that the oranges will be broken when transferring them. Why are you so verbose? Hurry up and practice. Buggy wanted to say something, but saw a series of arms connected from a window on the side of Thousand Miles of Sunshine, and then saw Robin stepping on the arm ladder and walking over. Robin gave Buggy a blank look. You guys are really incomprehensible. Hurry up and practice, hey. Seeing that Robin was also talking about him, Buggy suddenly froze. Okay. Good men don't fight with women. I flash. He walks back to Thousand Miles of Sunshine, stepping on the arm ladder that Robin just made. Thank you, Miss Robin. Nami hugged Robin's arm happily and acted like a baby. Robin smiled. How could she not see Nami's thoughts on Luffy? So she usually helps Nami cover up and create a suitable two-person space for Nami and Luffy. Did you hear that? Suddenly, Luffy jumped up from the reclining chair, as if it had been stabbed by a tuna. What? Nami and Robin showed confusion in their eyes at the same time. Luffy shook his head again, also a little confused. Oh, maybe it's because I didn't sleep well last night. Okay, I won't bother you anymore. I'm going to practice Haki too, since officially becoming a partner of the Straw Hat Pirates. Robin has worked harder in training. As a member of the Straw Hat Pirates, she is very worried that when danger comes one day, she will not be able to help everyone. I'll see if the oranges are ripe. Nami went to the back deck. Luffy rubbed his eyes, then lay down on the recliner, but the moment he just lay down, he bounced up again. He suddenly looked around, looking around for the mouth recruited. When his gaze swept across the mast of the Mary, he suddenly froze there. Found it. Under the sun, a petite figure wearing a goose-yellow raincoat and rain boots is sitting on the crossbar of the mast, with his two calves swinging happily. The moment I saw this petite figure, the petite figure was also looking at Luffy. Luffy's eyes instantly burst into deep shock, because when he saw the happy arc on the corners of the mouth of this petite figure, he also felt the happy mood swings expressed by the Mary. This kind of happy mood swing far exceeds the level he felt on the Mary any time before. It's a Mary. Although the matter in front of me is too outrageous, Luffy can be sure that this petite figure in a goose-yellow raincoat is definitely the source of Molly's emotions. You are the Mary? Luffy asked subconsciously. Then the ship elf didn't respond in any words, but seemed to be extremely excited and happy about the 3 words Melly. How to say? It's like you raised a puppy and named the puppy Mei Lee. If you call it by its name often, it will gradually know that Mei Li is its name, can't understand people's words. Luffy was a little surprised, and then tried to wave at the ship elf. I saw that petite figure on the mast suddenly disappeared. Luffy was startled, but then, in front of him, the ship's spirit appeared out of thin air. Without any restraint or shyness, the ship elf threw herself into Luffy's arms. Luffy subconsciously hugged the ship elf and saw the ship elf leaning his little face on Luffy's chest. With a satisfied expression on his face at the same time, Luffy could clearly feel the mood swings on the Melly. Happy. Yes, this is a super happy mood. God, Mary has become a master. When Luffy reacted, he fully realized how outrageous this matter is. No wonder he felt the emotions of the Melly many times before. He thought he had some kind of hallucinatory mental disorder, but he didn't expect it to be true. Luffy excitedly hugged Little Melly to find Nami was also scared silly, however. When she stretched out her hand to hug Little Melly, she found that her hand went directly through Melly. Nami's face darkened, and she said depressedly, why can't I touch her? Haha. I don't know either, but I can. Luffy laughed loudly and tossed Little Melly a few times. The meaning of scorn, make no secret of it afterwards. Luffy told the news to his partners. Everyone was shocked. Only Frankie stared out his eyes. Oh my God. This is the legendary ship elf. Ship elf? The partners all looked at Frankie with a confused face. Frankie immediately told everyone about the ship spirit. It's only now that everyone understands how outrageous this light yellow petite figure is. You guys have to know that ship spirits only exist in legends. So far, no ship has been recorded as having a ship spirit, and our Mary is the only one. Frankie said in shock. But why only Luffy can hug her, but we can't? Sanji asked, very depressed. Zoro curled his lips. Could it be because you, a perverted cook, are so perverted that the ship spirits are afraid of you? Sanji suddenly became furious. Fart. Then you can't touch her too. Zoro shook his head. Who said that? I haven't touched her so far. How do you know I can't? Then go touch it now. Sanji pulled Zoro and walked towards Luffy. I don't go. Zoro shook off Sanji's hand and said disdainfully, as long as I don't touch her, you can't prove that I can't touch her. At this point, I am currently ahead of you. Yes. At this time, Frankie explained to everyone, the ship spirit can only be seen by the partners recognized by this ship. As for wanting to meet her, there is no record of this, either because Luffy is the captain, or is it because Luffy has the deepest bond with this ship? In short, this must require a very harsh condition. At this moment, there was a violent explosion outside. Then, the blazing light shines brightly outside the window. What happened? Everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates rushed out. When they came to the deck, they saw the cleaning crew trio looking at an empty treasure chest in front of them with a dazed expression. What happened? Sanji rushed up and looked around Califa nervously. Is Miss Califa injured? Seeing Luffy and others coming, Luke spread his hands. Just now we found a treasure chest floating on the sea surface, on which was written a tribute to the sea god, so we salvaged it. As a result, when I opened it, it turned out to be a signal flare. If I'm not mistaken, someone in this fog may be watching us, although it seems that he got into trouble. Luke still has the courage to take responsibility and quickly analyze the possibility. Luffy looked at the wooden barrel treasure chest and saw that the words Sea God's Royal Treasure were indeed written on it. At first glance, he would indeed think that it was a treasure paid to Sea God by someone else. Obviously, this was done on purpose. Well, your analysis is correct. But if it's a group of pirates, that's not bad. The Sabati archipelago has a marine base that just happened to grab it for money, Luffy said. What? Hearing what Luffy said, the trio of cleaners were stunned. Catch a pirate? Kaku widened his eyes and said in shock. Luffy shrugged his shoulders. Just making money, by the way, is Zhao's. Worth the fuss? The trio of cleaners are humble and don't dare to say anything. I just feel speechless. Pirates catch pirates for rewards. It's the first time they've heard of it. As you get deeper and deeper into the Devil's Triangle Sea area, the fog on the sea surface is getting thicker. Because of poor visibility, Luffy temporarily drove the Mary into the cabin. On deck, Buggy is standing with a piece of wood looks like nothing is done. But if you look closely, this piece of wood has been vibrating slightly. It's really close. It's close. Buggy shakes his head depressedly since seeing Luffy's devil fruit awakening in Little Garden. Buggy has a new goal for developing devil fruit. Everyone is paramecia devil fruit. Since Luffy's rubber fruit can be awakened, can't my Buggy's split fruit be awakened? After coming out of Little Garden, Buggy has been practicing active splitting over and over again. While trying to split external objects, he has done experiments with many things and found that the inorganic matter can respond to his splitting ability, but the organic matter has almost no response to its splitting ability. That's why Buggy focused on cultivating this splitting ability on inorganic matter. The reason for using wood for cultivation is not that there is anything special about this piece of wood, but because Buggy used this piece of wood for the first time to practice with inorganic substances. So obviously I already feel it, but it's always a little bit worse, damn it. Even if I can't keep up with Luffy, you can't be used further and further away by him. Come again. I must awaken. Department Chapter 128 called Chopper. Let's dissect this skeleton. Please subscribe. Little Melly. Wow. I over there have already awakened to this extent. Seeing that the Red Luffy's ship, the Mary, can already actively communicate with Luffy. Little Mary herself was stunned. Although it is still not possible to communicate with words, it is only an interaction in terms of emotional fluctuations. But this is already enough to make Melly unimaginable Monkey D. Luffy. Frankie, what's the situation with little Melly over there? Is it because of the bond? Frankie. I don't know either. It's impossible for anyone to know about this situation, but if you let me guess, it's because I have reached a certain level of fetters. Nami. It's disgusting that only Red Luffy can touch it. Nico Robin. Red Luffy cherishes the Mary. It is reasonable for little Mary to respond to him. Joel D. Roger. Little Buggy is the most shocking thing. If I'm not mistaken, his situation is a sign before awakening. Shanks. Really? Is Buggy's devil fruit over there about to awaken? Is there any demon fruit power from Paramecia to explain if this is the case? Don Quixote da Flamingo. It should be. I remember the time before my devil fruit awakened. I could always feel that I seemed to be able to transform other substances into threads. Until the moment I fully awakened, can really transform other substances into lines. Buggy, Nanny. That's it. I'm really going to wake up over there. Edward Newgate. It's outrageous. If the split fruit is awakened, wouldn't it be able to split other things? And the Buggy over there has already cultivated the active split to the extent that it can be split into the same size as sand. Then once he awakens successfully, wouldn't he be able to split any inorganic matter into the size of sand? Monkey D. Luffy. Sounds like a very powerful look. Marco. Please remove the scorpion. This must be very powerful. If you meet him at sea, the enemy ship will directly turn into sand-like pieces, and you won't even have time to surrender. Duh. Hearing Marco's explanation, many people who didn't understand before realized how terrible the split fruit would be once awakened. Buggy, it seems that I have to learn my cultivation method over there and wake up early. GOLD Roger. Wow, huh? Great, little Buggy. You will definitely wake up. Buggy has been practicing for a while and was about to go back to the room to take a rest. Suddenly, he frowned and immediately looked at Califa's skin on the deck. At this time, Califa is bending over and rubbing against the railing. Her buttocks pouted. Buggy's fingertips suddenly caught several daggers. Swipe. Brush. His two palms were separated from his body in an instant, and he was carrying 6 sharp daggers, and he shot toward Califa's, but like a wolf. Puff. Just when the 2 daggers came to about 1 meter behind Califa, they were inserted into an invisible object. There was a miserable cry in the air all of a sudden, and Buggy controlled his hands, swung the invisible thing in a circle, and then nailed it hard to the deck. This sudden scream made Califa startled all of a sudden. She was cleaning the railing seriously, but suddenly there was a strange scream from behind. Do you think it's scary? Luke, he, and Kaku also looked over immediately. What's going on? Then in their shocked eyes, they saw a strange figure appearing on the ground of this deck. Looks like a human, but also looks like a lion. Califa immediately turned her head to the side, roaring in an atmosphere. A hole. His surname is Xiao Xiao. What is this? Luffy frowned. Buggy walked up to Absalom, looked down at him, and asked coldly, "What are you?" "Damn it, it shouldn't be. Where did you find me?" While Absalom is in pain, his eyes are full of confusion as a user of the transparent fruit. He has tasted many women in this sea area, and he can succeed every time. Just now I saw that the signal flare they used as bait was opened, and he rushed over immediately. Absalom couldn't bear it when he saw a beautiful woman on the deck. It turned out that I didn't expect that before I succeeded, I was nailed to the ground by a dagger. At this time, Luffy also came. His observation haki is the strongest, so when he sensed the movement outside, he came out immediately. "What's going on?" Luffy asked directly. Buggy pointed to Absalom lying on the ground. "I was practicing just now, and suddenly Observation Haki noticed an invisible person walking behind Califa, and I directly nailed him to the ground with a dagger." Luffy looked at Absalom and immediately revealed a disgusted expression. This guy has already taken off his pants. Reminiscent of what Buggy said, he immediately understood. Suddenly, Luffy said contemptuously, "This BD is a user with transparent fruit ability. How dare you use food ability to do such a lowly thing?" Buggy cut him off. Buggy was also not polite and directly picked Absalom out of the deck with a dagger. "Wait, what are you going to do?" Hey, I'm a cadre of 7 warlords of the Sea Moria. Do you want to offend Moria?" Absalom yelled in horror when he heard that others were going to treat him like this. Of course, he's not particularly scared. After all, there is the miracle Dr. Hoback. No matter where his body is cut, Hoback can pick him up again. He can even pick up other animals. Moria? Ha ha ha. There's something about Moria that deserves your harsh words. Hearing this, Buggy laughed silly, but I saw Luffy kill Crocodile with 1 blow. Although the reward for this Moria is not low, but in terms of hard power, Moria's strength is not as good as Crocodile. When this guy comes in front of Luffy, I think Luffy will stare at him, and he will feel bad. Brush. Buggy was too lazy to talk nonsense, so he directly raised the knife and cut off Absalom. Then he looked at Luffy. How to deal with him? "This kind of rubbish, throw it into the sea," Luffy said with disgust. "Nanny?" Hearing what Luffy said, Absalom suddenly screamed. "If you just cut him off, he doesn't care. But if you throw him into the sea, he will sink directly to the bottom of the sea. Then there will be nothing." He hurriedly begged for mercy in horror. Don't throw me into the sea." What can I say? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know Taishan. Please forgive me. Luffy waved his hand. "Forgive me. Throw it away. It's disgusting to look at it for a while." Buggy controlled 2 palms hanging in the air to swipe them back, and the dagger was pulled out from Absalom's body. As a result, Absalom immediately lost his support and fell into the sea. Really? How can there be such a disgusting guy? Hearing that Absalom was thrown into the sea, Califa turned around. Her cheeks were still flushed with lingering anger. She looks at Luffy. "Thank you, Captain." "Thank me for what?" "Thank Buggy. If it weren't for Buggy, you would have lost your virginity now." Luffy pouted towards Buggy. Hearing this, Califa said seriously to Buggy, "Thank you, Senior Buggy. Stop talking nonsense. Luffy taking you in doesn't mean I approve of you. You were able to go undercover in the capital of 7 Waters before, and now you can also go undercover in our Straw Hat Pirates. Just because Luffy took you in, but if I find out that you have any bad intentions, I will tear you apart without hesitation. For the beauty's thanks." Buggy doesn't appreciate it at all. Yes, Senior Buggy." Califa bowed his head, Psycha, and stopped arguing. Luffy is very satisfied with Buggy's vigilance. The reason why he only let Frankie and Usopp know about the undercover director is to make other partners not take it lightly. As long as everyone doesn't know that this incident was directed by Luffy, they can't be too lax about this trio of cleaners. Vinsmoke Sanji, good. This is too much. Good to die. Thinking of what Absalom did to Nami and Robin back then, Sanji wished he could kill Absalom 1,000 times. Nami. This change is too much. You deserve it. Robin, when I think about what happened, I feel sick. Frankie, yeah, that be D. The red Luffy over there is really fast and resolute. Usopp, good cut. Gecko Moria, damn, killed Absalom. I don't know what will happen to me over there. Don Quixote da Flamingo. That's a question? It must be dead too. Fufurfur, the cleaning on the deck is almost done. Luffy asked the cleaning crew trio to rest for a while. Buggy, how is your practice of controlling the splitting of external objects going? Luffy asked. Buggy demonstrated it to Luffy. Luffy told Buggy about her experience when she woke up, and Buggy kept nodding, listening very seriously. Buggy went to comprehend it by himself, and Luffy objected to Liu Key recruiting stars. Luffy didn't speak, but still walked over. Luffy asked directly, "Are you sure what you taught me about the Iron Body ability is true?" "Of course it's true." Liu Key frowned slightly. "Yes, the other 5 are fine, and it is impossible to lie to me about Iron Body alone." Luffy shook his head, then laughed. "But the Iron Body ability is really stupid. In terms of defense, it is not as good as Armament Haki, and it cannot be moved." "Move? It's like a fool to practice this thing." "Forget it. I'll only practice the 5 marine moves." At this moment, a broken ship suddenly appeared in the fog ahead. Ah, Khalifa was the first to scream, attract others to look at it immediately. With just one glance, all the hairs stand on end immediately. Are you kidding me? Liu Key's pupils condensed fiercely, staring at the broken ship deck ahead. Kaku also opened his mouth wide in astonishment. Skeleton. Skeleton? Am I hallucinating? I saw a living skeleton. No, it's not a hallucination because I saw it too. Buggy took a deep breath, and his forehead was also sweating. No matter how strong the strong are, they are still in the category of humans after all. However, if encountering something beyond the scope of human beings, even the strong will feel fear. Binks wine. Do you want a taste? On the lifeless broken ship ahead, a skull is singing with a cup of steaming tea. Ren Frankie. Ha ha! They were so scared when they saw Brook for the first time. Roronoa Zoro. Of course. No one has ever seen a living skeleton. Tony Chopper. Usopp and I were freaked out. Usopp, yeah. I keep the cross in my hand. Nami, ha. I was so scared that tears came out. Edward Newgate. When I saw this skeleton for the first time in the white frame video just now, I was really shocked. What the hell? Luffy also saw this kind of scene for the first time. Not only felt that his hairs were bursting. Luffy. What should I do? Yuki's voice trembled a little. I don't know either, but is there really a living skeleton here? The corner of Luffy's mouth twitched. However, it is true or false. You haven't tried to be sure. Otherwise, if you're deceived by someone, it will be so uncomfortable. Thinking of this, Luffy released Conqueror's Haki without saying a word. Boom! An incomparable and powerful power instantly condensed into a precise thin line and fell on Brook in an instant. Brook rolled his eyes, fell to the ground neatly, and the teacup in his hand went into the sea. Luffy just had the attitude of giving it a try, but I didn't expect it to be really successful. Conquerors is also useful for skeletons. Frankie, it seems that my luck is still good. It seems that I'm the only one who missed the Luffy Conqueror's Haki. Although they don't have Conqueror's Haki, the knowledge of Conqueror's Haki as CP9 Guanwang is their necessary knowledge. Although Luffy's Conqueror's Haki was not aimed at them just now, they clearly felt the coercion from the Conqueror's Haki. Usopp, PFFF. Ha ha ha. Roronoa Zoro. Okay, I won the red Luffy's Conqueror's Haki, and I'm sure I'm going to board the boat at this time. Luffy's arms stretched out, reaching directly to the deck of the dead ship in front. Vinsmoke Sanji, haha. Shocking fast, closing fast. Unmistakable. This is the Conqueror's Haki that only appears to 1 in a million people. Out of caution, Luffy wraps his arms around Armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki, grabs the fainted Brook, and takes it back. Luffy threw Brook to the ground and then shouted, "Call Chopper, dissect this skeleton." Nami, Conqueror's partner package really lives up to its name. Brook, I'm too fast. I was blown away as soon as I met From what Luffy leaked just now, it could be judged that Luffy's Conqueror's Haki is ridiculously strong. Asking for flowers, asking for evaluation, asking for a reward, asking for a monthly ticket. Lucci, Kaku, and Califa next to each other were shocked at the same time. Chapter 129. Why is this sea area changing too much? Please subscribe. Brooke, Nanny, Frankie, huh? Good anatomy, good anatomy? Super. Usopp, you're so ridiculous. I'm afraid I'll faint from fright when Chopper comes over. Tony Chopper. That's for sure. But can skeletons be dissected too? No Anuazo. If you can't dissect, then open the skull. When I saw the red Luffy, my first reaction was to call for someone to dissect the skeleton, and everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates laughed from ear to ear. This thing. How does it seem to be alive? Luffy walked closer and saw Brooke twitching nonstop, with an unbelievable expression on his face. Califa pushed the purple-framed glasses, opened his mouth. Isn't it like he seems to be alive soon? Everyone from the Straw Hat Pirates came out of the cabin. When they saw a skeleton lying on the ground, they all showed emoticons. Chopper, please dissect it and see if this thing is a real species. Luffy stretched out his hand to pull Chopper while talking. Chopper was so frightened that his nose burst into tears. I don't want it. Don't let me get close to it. Zoro was not afraid. He directly forced the blade of Suizu to Brooke's neck, threatening, Hey, tell me, what the hell are you? Or I'll cut you off. That's right. Cut him off if you don't say anything. This skeleton is not serious at first glance. Sanji also cheered from the side. Usopp said, This thing is actually quite tough. It's so hard that it doesn't say a word. Better die than surrender. Zoro looked up at Luffy, apparently waiting for Luffy's opinion. Luffy frowned. We heard him sing before, but now he doesn't say a word. Maybe it's a summoning puppet manipulated by other capable people? Zoro chose to chop off his head to see the situation good. Zoro doesn't even ink, so he's going to do it right away. But at this moment, Luffy said in a deep voice, Didn't he be shocked by your Conqueror's Haki? How did you talk? Everyone is stunned. What else is there? Generally, after being stunned by Conqueror's Haki, people will turn pale, foam at the mouth, and tremble nonstop. But the guy in front of me is covered in bones except for his hair, and he can't see any body language or facial expressions at all. Luffy scratched his head. I was only thinking about dissection, and I forgot that I used Conquerors to stun him. Partners are all dumbfounded good guy. We still thought that this skeleton would rather die than submit. After a long time of fuss, it turned out that he was still risking. Usopp poured a bucket of water on the skeleton's face. Brook woke up. He quickly shouted, I'm a human. I'm a human. I'm demon fruit power. Don't cut off my head. I'm going to die. Although I couldn't speak just now, Brook still heard what Luffy and Zoro said. If someone hadn't reminded him, he would have died inexplicably. As soon as he regained his ability to speak, he quickly shouted, Demon fruit power? Zoro looked at it curiously and asked suspiciously, What is devil fruit? Skeleton fruit? Sanji guessed. It may also be the fruit of ribs. No. I am a person with the ability of the fruit of the underworld. I was originally Brook hurriedly talked about it. Actually, when he first met the 1,000 Miles of Sunshine, he wanted to pretend to be aggressive, keep a sense of mystery, and take a look at the living people by the way. But what he never expected was that he just wanted to pretend to be a force. But he was directly carried over by others, and he had to be dissected and beheaded. He's afraid that if he doesn't explain the matter quickly now, he will die inexplicably if he doesn't make it right. Wait, you just said, what was the name of the pirate group you used to be in? Suddenly, Luffy noticed a key word and interrupted Brook's narration, seeing that Luffy seems to be very concerned about the name of his pirate group. Brook felt a little flustered and stammered, Lumba Pirates. What? When they heard that Brook confirmed the name, Luffy, Zoro, Buggy, Usopp, Nami, and Sanji suddenly widened their eyes, and their eyes were full of horror. What's going on? Robin frowned suspiciously, his face extremely bewildered. Chopper is wide open, and cute Frankie is also puzzled. He said that the pirate group was wiped out when they were 50 years old. You guys, even Buggy, there was no AB at that time. One's there. Is there a problem? Brook actually didn't know what to do in his heart. and watched the Straw Hat Pirates carefully. Sanji suddenly asked loudly, "Did you bring a fish from West Blue to Grand Line? Don't reveal any more information." Luffy immediately interrupted Sanji, but asked Brook, "What kind of fish is it? Sea carp? Sea yellow croaker? Or kelp fish? Also, what's the name of that fish?" Usopp. Sea carp? Sea yellow croaker? Kelp fish? Roronoa Zoro. Red Luffy asked that on purpose. Nami, yes. If Sanji took the initiative to say Laboon's name, then it is impossible to judge whether Brook really knows the existence of Laboon. In case Brook is just a certain pirate group that once fought against the Rumba Pirates, whatever, how about reporting the name of the Rumba Pirates? Brook, Nami actually doubts me. I don't want to live Nami. That's right, I found out. Frankie, huh? Hearing the option given by Luffy, Brook was taken aback. What is it? However, after all, he is an old antique who has lived for several years, and soon realized what Luffy meant. So, he said, "You're trying to test me, but there is nothing wrong with that. If you're really asking about the Rumba Pirates 50 years ago, then my answer is, Laboon is a whale." Wow, really? When hearing this answer, Usopp, Nami, and others all showed surprised eyes. There is one last question. Luffy still looked calm. He stared at Brook and said calmly, "What promise did I make with Laboon?" At the moment of saying this, Luffy immediately released Observation Haki to the maximum extent. Although Brook is not breathing, under the perception of the top Observation Haki, his emotions can still be more or less perceived by Luffy. Luffy's words are still testing Brook. Although the name of Laboon can prove Brook's identity to a large extent, but Luffy is the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates after all. He is responsible for the crew, so he is a little cautious. What promise did you make with Laboon? When I first heard this question, Brook was forced a bit, but then he said in amazement, Hey, how do I know what agreement you made with Laboon?" Luo face shrugged. "Yeah, you passed the test. If this Brook in front of him was deliberately done by someone, then it is naturally possible for him to do the intelligence work well in advance and get news about Laboon from the Straw Hat Pirates. And if that's the case, then you will definitely know the agreement between Luffy and Laboon. In the case of suddenly raising this question, it is very likely to say it directly. Only people who really know nothing about this matter will react like Brook hearing Luffy say this. Brook suddenly realized, I just realized it. Your question just now is also testing me. So, do you belong to a human or a ghost now?" Nami asked cautiously while hiding behind Luffy. Beautiful lady, can you show me your chubby TS? Brook blurted out, Nanny. Nami's expression froze. Then boom, the fist that covered armament Haki landed on Brook's head without hesitation. A bunch of candied haws-like swellings appeared on the skull of the skull. Brook got up from the ground dizzily and looked at Califa again. Beautiful girl. Before I finished speaking, Califa's whirlwind legs fell on Brook's face like raindrops. Your surname is Showing. Damn it, why is this sea area getting too big? After finishing work, Califa did not tidy up her clothes. Luffy, I think it's better to throw this guy into the sea too. Buggy suggested at this time. Luffy nodded. I think it will work. Hearing this, Brook, with a bruised nose and a swollen face, quickly got up. Hey, I was just joking. We were joking too, Luffy laughed, and then announced, I didn't expect that we could find the only remaining partner for Laboon. Today is a good day, and we will have a deck banquet later. Yeah, everyone was overjoyed when they heard it. Only the corners of the mouths of the cleaners trio twitched. Just finish cleaning, it's going to be dry again. This is our promise to a certain left-behind child. It is a great joy. The three of you will join us later. Luffy looked at the three of Liu Qi and said calmly, One not long bonfire, barbecue, fine wine, everything is available. The deck banquet starts. Please allow me to bring you a song, Banks Wine, Yo-ho-ho. Brook held a cane and sword and sang while playing the melody Get Up. When I was having fun, Brook also performed a craniotomy show for everyone. It caused everyone to applaud. Then, Brook talked about how they came from West Blue, brought Laboon into the Grand Line, and how they were wiped out by other pirates in the sea area of the Devil protagonist. DC, Luffy also shared the experience of meeting Laboon and the agreement between Luffy and Laboon with Brook. The three of CP9 over there acted as the best melon-eating trio throughout the whole process. Barbecue and fine wine were stuffed into their mouths. "You're still alive? Laboon must be very happy." Luffy is showing off the barbecue while looking at Brook. "What are you going to do next? Go back to find Laboon by yourself, or go around with us for the rest of the trip? Let's go to see Laboon together." Because it is very close to the Sabeti archipelago, and the Grand Line has already gone halfway. If Brook is sent back to Gemini Point at this time, then this going back and forth is equivalent to walking the distance of a Grand Line. A fool would do that. So now there are two options before Brook. One is to get a lifeboat from Luffy and the others, and drive back by himself, of course. A person who drives a lifeboat back from the Grand Line and is a person with abilities is actually super dangerous. The other is to follow Luffy and the others through the rest of the journey, and then go to meet Laboon together. After all, Luffy also made an agreement with Laboon. No matter whether you find it or not the members of the Rumba Pirates, he will go back and complete the agreement with Laboon. How this? Hearing what Luffy said, Brook felt awkward. He shook his head. "I can't choose either of these two options. In fact, I could spend at most one more day with you. And I have to leave. Going forward, I will be out of the fog." "What? You don't want to go back and see Labu?" "What do you mean? Why can't you follow if you want to use the fog? Are you really a ghost in the fog? Do you have any secrets to hide? Are you worried that we will sell you as a rare creature?" Hearing that Brook didn't want to leave the fog, everyone was confused. Brook quickly explained to everyone, "No, everyone misunderstood me. It's not that I don't want to leave the mist, or as soon as I leave the mist, if the sun shines on me, I will instantly turn into ashes and die. Devil fruit is extremely mysterious, and there are some special curses and side effects that special devil fruit will indeed have. Luffy ate the devil a long time ago." Everyone exclaimed quickly. "I came back and took it back. I am very happy with today's meal. Everyone will meet later." "Seven warlords of the sea? Can you still take people's shadows?" Luffy frowned. Frankie scratched his head. "Nani? What does this mean? Is it the curse brought by the resurrection of the fruit of the underworld? A capable person jumps into the sea. Isn't that courting death? Asking for flowers, asking for comments, asking for rewards, asking for monthly tickets, small, is such that the heart strayed into it. And he took away the shadow. So once I was exposed to the sun, I would immediately be wiped out." Speaking, Brook jumped directly into the sea. Brook shook his head and continued. "In this mist, there's a place called Ghost Island, which is the territory of 7 warlords of the sea Gecko Moria." Hearing this, Luffy nodded and then said, "Then let's go and get your shadow back. Since that place is in this fog, it definitely doesn't take much time. It's just a slight detour. It's not a big deal." "Hello, fruit." So he will hear more about devil fruit. But when Brook heard this, he immediately shook his head. "No, no, no. I cherish our short-lived friendship very much, and I must not drag you down. My shadow will be taken away by myself." Buggy explained. It turned out to be Gecko Moria. He is a person with the ability of the shadow fruit. He can indeed take away the shadow of people. "No, no, no. My resurrection and my inability to get out of the fog are two unrelated things." Chapter 130, They Are Professionals. Please subscribe. "Hello," everyone exclaimed and rushed to the railing. I saw Brook running a circle on the sea surface and said while running, "Yo, don't worry about me. My body is full of bones and very light, so as long as I keep running, I won't sink. It's a pleasure to get along with everyone, and there will be a period later." Speaking, Brook turned his head and ran into the mist. Rubber, rubber, catch chicken. Luffy's right hand shot out immediately, directly using the whoosh. When Luffy withdrew his right hand, Brook sat on the deck with a dazed expression. He looked around in a daze, and then said with a confused face, "I'm back again." Haha. Everyone burst into laughter when they saw Brook's reaction. I have to say, this reaction is really funny. "Stupid. You almost missed the chance to see you again," Zoro said calmly. Brook shook his head straight. "No, no, no. You don't understand how troublesome Moria's fruit ability is. Don't look at how confident you are now. But once you step into the Ghost Island, you also ended up in the same fate as me. Frankie laughed loudly. Hey, you may think highly of 7 warlords of the sea. Pirates of that level are not very different from the little ones in front of our captain. Usopp proudly said, yeah, it's just Shichibukai. And it's not that they haven't cleaned up. When we were in Alabasta, we killed one. Take us to see Moria, and we'll kill the second one for you to see. Impossible. You should give up your heart. I will never take you to die. Brook's attitude is very firm. 8. Everyone is speechless when they see that Brook is so determined. No way. If a frog has never jumped out of the mouth of a well, his cognition will only stay in the sky as big as the mouth. No matter what you tell him, he won't believe it. Seeing that Brook insists on this, Luffy is no longer persistent, so he looks at Usopp. Okay, handcuff him with sea stone handcuffs first, and then release him after we eliminate Moria. Good. Usopp takes the sea stone from him and walks towards Brook. I won't be caught without a fight. Brook immediately wanted to escape result. Fart BD. 1. Usopp's left and right palms patted Brook at the same time. The palm of the left hand is a taste shell, spouting long-stored farts. The palm of the right hand is the wind clam, and what is blown out is the wind. With the mutual assistance of the two, it becomes a fart blow that condenses into a straight line. Brook suddenly felt dizzy and froze immediately. Usopp took out the sea stone handcuffs, leaned Brook up slowly, and then put the other handcuffs on Brook's hand. GOLD Roger. Haha. This kid is really talented. Urage, it's outrageous. Can Wei-Bei and Feng-Bei still be used like this? This is too bad. Frankie, ha ha ha. Our Usopp can do this too, Vin Smoke Sanji. Of course, the two of them are one person. It's just that they have different experiences, Sir Crocodile. Look at the situation over there. It's time to go to Moria now. Gecko Moria. Damn straw hat. He really lingers. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fufurfur. You here just beaten up, but you over there will die. Gecko Moria. Huh. Everyone's fate is not guaranteed. Dracul Mihawk. Do you believe it yourself? Gecko Moria. When they saw how Usopp subdued Brook, all the friends around were stunned. Damn it. It's too bad. Which way are we going to find Moria now? Frankie asked. Luffy smiled. No need to look for it. Didn't we meet several sea gods' imperial treasures along the way just now? Let's go back and open a random. Moria will come. Nami's eyes lit up. That's right. Since the biggest boss in this sea area is Gecko Moria, he must have sent people to those decoys. Califer remembered something and immediately showed an expression. It seems that the disgusting thing that is not a human, a lion or a lion, just now must be Moria's subordinate. People are not people. Lions are not lions. Hey, are you talking about a guy who looks like a lion? A transparent person who ate a transparent fruit? Arya, hearing Califa's description, Brook immediately asked. Buggy nodded. Yes, that's the big change. What? Did you meet Absalom? What happened? That guy's fruit ability has grown tremendously. Brook asked venomously. Buggy curled her lips. He's pretty cool, but what's the difference in ability? I just got on our boat and tried to do bad things, but I caught him. Then he was thrown into the sea and fed fish. Nanny. Brook was dumbfounded. Is that a lie? That guy's a user of the transparent fruit. How could it be discovered as soon as I got on the boat? Nami asked impatiently. Don't be nanny. Just say that the dead mutant is Moria's subordinate, right? Yes. Gecko Moria has 3 cadres under his command, namely Absalom, the invisible fruit user, Perona, the ghost fruit ability user, and a corpse suture named Hoback. Doctor, Brook told what he knew, Hoback. Hearing this name, Chopper suddenly widened his eyes. Could it be that genius doctor who used miraculous operations to save many intractable diseases? Brook nodded. Yes, that's him. Wow, it's him. He's a super powerful doctor. Confirmed by Brook. His eyes were full of admiration. Luffy asked suspiciously. Wait, Brook, you seem to say that he is a cadaver suturing doctor just now? What's going on? Brook explained. As far as I know, he used to be a very powerful doctor, but now he is a cadre under Gecko Moria, specializing in stitching various corpses for Moria, And then Moria stuffed the shadows. He got into these corpses in this way. A large number of zombie soldiers and zombie generals were found. Hearing this, Chopper suddenly exclaimed loudly, "Hey, how could he desecrate those corpses like that?" As an admirer of Hobak, Chopper feels disillusioned at this moment. Don't be sad because that kind of rotten person is not worth it. Nami held Chopper's little head and made a model, although his medical skills are very good. But his character is too bad. Such a person is not worthy of being a doctor. You said he created a large number of zombie soldiers and zombie generals? Luffy caught some information in Brook's words, and his pupils narrowed slightly. Then, according to what you just said, wouldn't it be that many people were cut off by him? Brook replied, yes. In this Devil's Triangle Sea area, many pirate groups have been murdered by him. On Ghost Island, there is a foggy forest where the fog is so heavy that you can't see the sun all year round. Hide hundreds of guys who have lost their shadows. Luffy was taken aback for a moment, and then a strange expression appeared on his face. You mean, there are a few acres of pirates gathered in Moria, right? Yeah, they were all taken away by Moria, and they would die if they hit the sun. They can only hide in that forest. They are very pitiful. Brooks said earnestly. Confirmed the news, Luffy was overjoyed. He clapped his hands heavily and laughed happily. Got rich. Gold, Roger. Nanny? This guy actually thought of getting rich. Ha ha ha. Shiki, wait for him to go around the big channel, and all the pirates in this world must be caught by him. Rocks D, Zebek. If this kid fights a little harder, he will catch all the gang of dogs like ZZ, Lin Lin, and Kaido. Edward Newgate. Go. Rocks. When will you be resurrected? Charlotte Linlin. Yeah, Captain Rocks resurrected? Ha ha ha. Kaido, catch us all? Don't dream. You first ask Marine if he can come up with so many bounties. Sengoku. Luffy over there is himself a pirate. How can he give him a bounty? Gold Roger. You don't need to worry about that. The Luffy kid over there has his own way to withdraw money. Shanks, ha. Yeah, get rich. Nami also laughed loudly. Her bright eyes kept shining with the luster of Bailey Buggy, silently estimated. This is the Grand Line. The pirates who can appear here, at least 5 million shells or more. If there are hundreds of pirates, it is estimated that there will be at least a bounty of 1 or 2. Hearing this number, the partners of the Straw Hat Pirates were all excited. Even if it's not to get back Brook's shadow, they must go to Ghost Island. And there's a marine branch in Sabeti Archipelago. Because that place is the necessary way to go to the New World, the marine base branch there has a lot of bounty stocks. Maybe you'll be able to use the 7th and nearly 1 billion bounty that the branch owed. Them was also withdrawn. CP9 is dumbfounded by the 3 of them. Before they heard Luffy mention the matter of catching pirates for bounty, they thought it was incredible. And now that this thing is about to happen, they're even more shocked. At this time, Brook became anxious. Hey. Those guys are poor people too. And some of them are just cooks or handymen on the ship. Not all of them are guilty. Don't worry, we have a full set of bounty records here. As long as there is no bounty on the guy, or the crime of the bounty is unwarranted, we will not exchange them for the bounty. Nami took out the bounty booklet and clapped it in his hand. Shoot. Forehead. Good guy. Sure enough, professional. The CP9 trio was stunned. Thousands of miles of sunshine headed back towards the road just now and found a sea god Yubuokian. Not long after, boom, accompanied by a burst of signal flares. The fireworks are played in the air, illuminated in the fog. Afterwards, 1,000 miles of sunshine stopped at the same spot and waited. Sure enough. In less than an hour, an island was slowly approaching them. Coming. Observation Haki sensed a wall approaching. Luffy took the intercom and said, adjust the main gun and blast this broken wall. No problem. In the control room, Frankie received the order. Then he issued an order to another intercom bug. Attention the main gunner. The captain has orders. Step on the front wall. Yes. Jiwei twisted the waist of the water snake and quickly operated the artillery interface. If you ask her to play ordinary guns, she will definitely not be able to but for this kind of artillery whose trajectory is completely adjusted by the operation interface, she and mods are definitely more effective than good snipers. Boom! Large caliber shells fell on the wall in front, immediately blasting the wall to open an intersection. Soon, 1,000 miles of sunshine entered through this gap and then docked. However, Luffy's observation haki has already noticed that this island is actually a huge pirate ship, but it doesn't matter. Instead, throw the anchor down and it will be fixed. Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Brook, and Luffy disembark, and the others stay on board. The reason for leading Luffy is because this guy is not considered his own, but also has certain strength. So he is a qualified pathfinder. Suddenly a hand came out from the ground and grabbed Nami's feet, and Nami jumped directly onto Luffy's body in Fright Brush. Shuezo's 5.8 blade flashed, and the zombie that emerged from the ground was always chopped into several pieces. Brook explained, "Yes, these zombies are inanimate, so they won't die, but salt and sea water can solve it." Luffy frowned. "Then why didn't you say it earlier?" Brook said, "That's the direction of the foggy forest. The owner of this shadow should be hiding there. When a shadow is shot out of the zombie, it will return to their owner's body by itself. This head is really a good locker. You really have a kind heart," Brook said excitedly. Suddenly seeing the broken zombies continue to crawl towards them, Zoro frowned. Luffy gave Brook a strange look. "I mean, if they don't have shadows, we can't get them to Marine Base." Luffy nodded. "I see. Then let's find their zombie, Admiral, and release all the shadows. It's okay. I just asked Usopp for shellfish filled with sea water." "Okay." I was careless. Brook pointed the mouth of the water shell at the mouth of the zombie, and then sprayed out a stream of sea water. The zombie stopped immediately, and then saw a shadow floating out of his body, heading in a certain direction. "Fly over." "Huh? Where will that shadow go?" Nami asked curiously. When everyone saw this, the corners of their mouths twitched in silence. "Ask for flowers. Ask for evaluation. Ask for reward. Ask for a monthly pass." Brook opens his own skull and takes a shell from it. Brook, oh, this thing isn't dead yet? Chapter 131, Slippery Ghosts. The biggest joke in the world. Please subscribe. Led by Brook, a group of people came to the cemetery very quickly. Zombie soldiers are constantly emerging from the ground like mushrooms after rain. Zoro is in charge of stabbing one by one. Brook is in charge of spitting water into the mouths of these zombies. Orderly. One after another, shadows floated away from the graveyard, towards the side of the foggy forest. Afterwards, the group continued to walk in the direction of the ghost castle. I really deserve to die. Suddenly, Luffy, who was walking in the front and acted as a spy, let out a moaning sound, and then laid down on the ground. What's going on?" Zoro immediately drew his swords out of their sheaths, looking for them with sharp eyes. "Wow, it's a ghost!" Nami got his wish and jumped on Luffy again. Brush. A sword light flickered, and Zoro's figure appeared behind this ghost. Why did I appear here? I'm such a humble bug." Zoro lay on the ground, buried his face on the ground, and did not forget to cover his face with the dirt on both sides. At this time, the ghost floating in the sky flew towards Luffy. Luffy frowned, stepped on his feet several times in an instant. Shave. There is still a Nami on his body. Luffy immediately teleported to another place. Not good. It's her cadre, Perona, who is here. Brook reminded immediately when he saw this scene. But the next moment, another negative ghost passed through his body. I reflect, I don't deserve to live in this world." Brook lay on the ground, posing with a big character, and looked at the sky with empty eyes. Other targets were eliminated, and the two negative ghosts floated towards Luffy at the same time. Luffy encountered this ability for the first time, so he was very cautious and kept changing his position with shaving. There was a burst of strange laughter from the empty place, which immediately attracted the eyes of Luffy and Nami. I saw a girl wearing a crown and 28 pink double ponytails floating in the sky. She still held a small wine-red umbrella in her hand. "You two are really flexible. My negative ghost can't even touch you." People were floating in the air, Perona said with a smile. "Passive ghost." Luffy frowned. The way he looks at Luffy, Zoro, and Brook, it does seem to be a negative look. "Yeah, I'm the ghost girl who ate the ghost fruit." Those are my negative ghosts. If you touch them, your mood will become extremely negative. Perona said, all right. Thank you for the information. Luffy nodded. Then Conqueror's Haki was released instantly. The terrifying coercion condensed into a Haki horse training, which directly hit Perona. But the next moment so strong, Luffy is a bit surprised to see that his Conqueror's Haki has no effect on Perona. This girl can forcibly resist the precise attack of my Conqueror's Haki. Is she so strong? Luffy, be careful behind you. I noticed 2 negative ghosts coming from behind again. Nami reminded me. Always dodging like this is not an option. Luffy turned to face the 2 negative ghosts and tried to attack the 2 negative ghosts with Conqueror's Haki. However, it is not an egg, and the effect of the Sun Point is also useless. Quickly, they're about to touch us. Nami hung behind Luffy and shouted nervously. Shave. Luffy distanced himself from the negative ghost again, thinking quickly in his mind. After a while, Luffy suddenly had an idea. He turned his head to look at Nami, who put his chin on his left shoulder, and said, try the ability to slide the fruit and see if you can prevent those negative ghosts from touching you. One Nami was slightly taken aback. What if it doesn't work? If it doesn't work, I'll think of another way. Luffy seems to be using Nami as cannon fodder by doing this, but it is a very sensible approach. Because even if Nami gets negative, at least Luffy can stay absolutely untouched by negative ghosts. But if Luffy uses himself to test the ability of slippery fruit, if he becomes negative, then Nami will definitely not be able to escape the siege and interception of those 2 negative ghosts -1. So, in the face of this situation, Luffy's approach is completely correct. Nami also completely trusts Luffy. Okay, look at mine. Nami pressed both hands on Luffy's shoulders, and with a swipe, he passed over Luffy's head. Luffy rolled his eyes and was speechless at Nami's childish behavior. Slippery, evil sliding away, standing in front of Luffy. Nami directly opened her hands to welcome the arrival of 2 negative ghosts. 2 chubby negative ghosts straight into Nami's body. Then, with a swipe, it slid from Nami's body to the side's quack. The 2 negative ghosts suddenly fell into a big horse, and there was an anthropomorphic expression of grievance on their chubby faces. It works. Seeing the 2 negative ghosts being slid away with my own eyes, Nami was so happy. Although she followed the method Luffy suggested to him to practice the conceptual application of slippery fruit, but she has never used it on ghosts in actual combat. This time, the first show of slippery fruit against the ghost will make Nami's understanding of slippery fruit's ability to a higher level. Is it really useful? Seeing the effect, Luffy pointed to himself. Come on. Give me this set meal too. Nami steps up to Luffy, puts his hand on Luffy's head. Slippery, evil, slip away. 1. So naive, Luffy took Nami's hand off his head speechlessly. He knew that Nami's ability to use flower fruit on others does not have to be molded. Nanny, negative ghost, doesn't work anymore. Perona opened her mouth wide and was immediately unhappy. Luffy looked at Perona and said, I understand. The you in front of me is not your body, but your soul. What kind of soul? This is a ghost clone. No matter what method you use, you can't hit me. Seeing that my ghost can no longer work, Perona is very unhappy now. Ghost, is it? Thank you for providing the information. Luffy nodded and then said to Nami, you heard me. Now try to see if the slippery fruit is useful for her ghost body. When Perona heard this, she said angrily, damn it. You lied to me again. Luffy spread his hands. Look at what you said, what happened on the battlefield. How can it be called a lie? It's just trying to get the other party to tell the information voluntarily. Speaking, Luffy moves. Shave. Moonwalk. Luffy's speed is extremely fast, and he came to Perona in an instant. This sudden scene made Perona startled. Nami clapped both hands on Perona's arm without hesitation and activated the devil fruit ability without hesitation. Slippery, smooth ghost. When this ability is activated, 3 screaming voices resounded in the sky above this gloomy land at the same time. What Luffy and Nami didn't expect is that the ability of slippery fruit is effective, and the effect is amazing. Perona's ghost body suddenly becomes a slippery ghost with zero friction in this way. What kind of wine red umbrella? What kind of crown? What kind of red leather boots? What kind of black and white striped socks? At this time, all of them lost any focus, and they all fell to the ground in a crash Usopp. Nanny? Is it Vinsmoke Sanji? OMG. Damn Luffy and Nami. You two are blocking the camera. Get out of the way. Seeing this scene on the screen suddenly, Sanji almost went crazy. I saw umbrellas, boots, socks, clothes, and so on falling from midair. Even a fool would know what happened, but at this time, the footage played on the screen was played from the perspective behind Luffy and Nami, which caused Luffy and Nami to block Perona tightly. Roronoa Zoro. Huh? My face over there is buried on the ground. I don't seem to see it. Usopp, it's a big loss for me over there. I didn't come with me. It's my grandma's house. Brook, I am the one who suffers the most. At such an important moment, I actually looked at the sky on the other side. Negatively? I guess I will be depressed after knowing the truth, Nami. That Luffy also knelt on the ground and grabbed the ground with his head, and he didn't see anything. It seems that he only saw it Nico Robin. Ahaha. Nami didn't see anything. It should be said that only Luffy is a big eyesore Marshall D. Teach. It's too much. This kind of thing is actually blocked from showing us. Let the red Luffy enjoy it alone. It's too much. Capone Beach. Yes, that's too much. Skillick Manap. Second. A blah 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 blah. Perona let out a cry and immediately hugged herself with her arms crossed. Nami is extremely embarrassed. No. Sorry. I didn't know it was this effect. Ghost Rocket. Perona is still in the mood to discuss with Nami whether it was intentional at this time, and rushed directly to the distant sky in the form of a jet plane. Also watch it. Don't watch it. Finding that Luffy was still looking in Perona's direction, Nami immediately covered Luffy's eyes with two small hands. Luffy explained, "No, I'm calculating distance. I want to see if his ability disappears when he reaches a certain distance." Okay, then Nami let go of her hand again. When Perona's ghostly figure completely disappeared from the field of vision, the three people on the ground started humming. With a limit distance of about 3,000 meters, the effect of negative ghosts will disappear. Luffy calmly analyzed. Damn it. What was I doing just now? I actually had such a ridiculous idea. Wiping the dirt off his face, Zoro is in a daze. The state of lack of fighting spirit just now was very scary for him. As a swordsman, this should never happen. Why did I suddenly seem to have lost my fighting spirit just now and fell directly to the ground? Luffy looked at his appearance in doubt. This kneeling posture was a bit unexpected. At this time, Brook got up from the ground and let out a long breath. Phew. Recovery. Negative ghosts are really scary. They disintegrated our fighting spirit in an instant. Negative ghost? What is that? Luffy 890 was attacked by surprise, so he didn't even see the appearance of the negative ghost. It's like a ghost. When we meet us, we become very negative all of a sudden. Brook said, "Wait, where are those ghosts? How did they disappear?" Zoro looked around and asked in doubt. Of course, the ability of this lady's slippery fruit is too powerful, defeating all the negative ghosts and ability users. Nami patted her breasts and said proudly, "Hey, what is that? Where did you find the women's clothes?" Suddenly, Zoro pointed to the ground not far away. There were clothes, socks, skirts, etc. on the ground, but they looked like energy bodies, not real objects. What? There are women's clothes? Let me see if there are any good-looking fat thorns. Hearing this, Brook immediately became excited. However, as soon as he turned his gaze to the direction Zoro was pointing at, those clothes in the shape of newt disappeared immediately. The other side, ask for flowers, ask for evaluation, ask for a reward, ask for a monthly pass. Damn it, how can I face them now? By the way, there are a few monitoring ghosts left here. If those people are defeated by Lord Moria, I will come back again. No, one of those two guys is so fast, and the other has the fruit ability to defeat me. I can't just sit here. I originally cooperated with Lord Moria because there are many interesting and scary zombies here. Now that my life may be in danger, I will retreat to a safe place first. thinking of the way she ran away. Perona's cheeks twitched. Now, as long as I see Luffy and Nami again, Perona can't wait to find a hole to go in. How can I show any combat power? Perona didn't hesitate anymore, and hurriedly took a large box of treasures and headed for her boat. The moment her ghost body returned to her main body, those ghost body clothes also returned to her. Afterwards, she boarded her exclusive boat and sailed into the mist day. Originally, I wanted to wash Luffy and Nami with Negative Spectre in a certain attic of the ghost castle. Perona escaped from the window without leaving her body. Damn BD. Perona's body is sitting on the bed. Her two small fists are tightly clenched. Perona is beating the quilt frantically. It turned out to be good now. I just exposed all my secrets to Luffy and Nami. Perona hurriedly got up from the bed and dragged a big treasure box in the corner over. Halfway, Perona released several small monitoring ghosts and flew towards various places in the Ghost Island. Chapter 132 Moria persisted until the second blow. Please subscribe. Luffy and his group of 5 arrived at the Ghost Castle. That's where the zombie generals are, and my shadow is on one of the zombie generals. Speaking of which, that zombie is still a celebrity. Brook pointed to a round door ahead and introduced it to everyone. Celebrity? Who is it? Nami asked curiously. Brook replied, that person is a dragon-slaying samurai who used to be in Wano Kuni, and his name is Ryoma. Ryoma? Hearing this name, Zoro suddenly showed a surprised expression. He heard this name from his master Koshiro before. He also knew how powerful this man was before. He was a little shocked and said, Moria can kill him? Brook shook his head and said, no. Moria just stole his corpse and put my shadow in it to create a zombie general. Because I use my shadow, the strength of this zombie general is it's exactly the same as me. Of course, there may still be a little bit of Ryoma's consciousness when he was alive, but it can be said to be negligible micro. After hearing what Brooks said, Luffy understood. He smiled and said, no wonder you can't get back your own shadow. Every time you fight this guy, you are fighting yourself. Yeah, it's too difficult. Brook twitched his lips. Boom. Luffy has already kicked open the round door ahead. Brush. A sword light flashed out, and a zombie in a red coat was slashed out with a sword. Is that him? Luffy asked. No, this is Captain John, who is also a great pirate. He was very powerful in his lifetime. Brook shook his head. Subsequently, several general zombies rushed out of it one after another. It's him. When Ryoma's zombie came out, Zoro recognized it without Brook's introduction. Let me. Zoro took the lead and rushed directly to Ryoma. One sword style. Lion song, aye. Draw the knife. Charge in. Sheath it. All in one go when Zoro appeared behind Ryoma Zombie. Ryoma Zombie didn't even have time to draw his sword, and his head was cut off directly. Chance! Brook rushed over quickly when he saw this, and spat water at the Dragon Horse Zombie's mouth. A black shadow floated out from the body of Ryoma Zombie and got into Brook's body. I'm back. Yo-ho-ho-ho. My shadow is back. Great. Yo-ho-ho-ho. This feeling of losing and regaining. If you have not experienced it personally, you will never be able to understand how excited Brook is now. Is that dragon-slaying warrior? It sounds like a powerful name. I was instantly killed in front of Zoro. Nami curled her lips. A little disdainful Luffy explained. You made a mistake. It wasn't Ryoma who was seconded, but Brook, it's impossible to know what Ryoma's real strength is. Swipe brush. Several swords and swords flickered, and several other zombie generals were also chopped up by Zoro. Afro, what are you still doing? Give him water. Seeing that Brook was still immersed in joy, Zoro shouted. Here it comes. Brook started working quickly, This knife. Suddenly, Zoro's attention fell on Ryoma's sword. I thought the zombie must be using a broken knife, but this knife is intact. Zoro picked it up and waved it lightly. Good knife. Although I don't know this knife, it doesn't prevent Zoro from being able to judge the quality of this knife. Roronoa Zoro. The Ryoma over there disappeared all of a sudden. When we were in Ghost Island before, Zoro and Ryoma Zombie fought heartily and finally defeated Ryoma Zombie. With a little consciousness left, Ryoma Zombie entrusted the black sword Kushui to Zoro. But now in the red frame video, the Dragon Horse zombies don't even have a chance to speak, let alone entrust, although is more formal to accept this knife on my side. But the strength of Zoro over there makes Zoro feel a sense of urgency. I'm actually so much weaker than myself over there. Since I could have gotten stronger and I didn't, did I really try? Don Quixote, Doflamingo. Fufurfur, what's the matter here? I'll see you later. The Moria over there is gone. Gecko Moria. You fart. Lousy won't disappear immediately. It's you. When the red Luffy over there meets you, you will disappear immediately. Don Quixote, Doflamingo. Do you think I'm a weak chicken like you? Fur. Zoro also unsheathed the knife from Ryoma Zombie's body, inserted the knife into the sheath, and made a clang, very crisp. Looks like I'm here this time. Holding this knife in his hand and looking at it for a while, Zoro was very excited. I just don't know what quality this knife is, but it should be a famous knife that can't escape. Zoro didn't think about Ryoma's saber after all. In his opinion, the saber in front of Ryoma must be at least at the level of a fast sword, and such a good sword must have been taken away long ago. And now this knife. Zoro speculates that it may be a famous knife that was not found on other zombie corpses, and it was used by Llama Zombie. Luffy said, "This is simple. When we arrive at the Sabeti archipelago, let's buy a collection of famous knives and compare them. The shadow is back, and Zoro has a good knife. Shall we still go to Moria?" Brook asked. Luffy frowned. "Why don't you go? Of course you want to go. Otherwise, wouldn't it be a waste of 1 or 2 billion Baileys?" Led by Brook, a group of 5 people came to my front door. Brook pointed upwards. "Moria is on the top floor." "Moria, come out and meet me." Luffy yelled directly. It stands to reason that as 7 warlords of the sea, someone came to challenge him directly. So there is no reason not to come out, as Luffy expected. After a while, a fat figure appeared on the balcony on the top floor of the castle. Where did the blind monkey come from? It actually came to my place to play wild. But since you took the initiative to send it to my door, I will not be polite to accept your shadow. Hey, he. Gecko Moria smiled and pointed in the direction of Luffy. A group of black shadow bats flew over. Luffy's arm stretches out suddenly. The people should let go. Armament Haki's wrapped palm instantly grabbed Moria's head. Then he pulled Moria down violently, and then his knee popped out. Conqueror's Haki and Armament Haki were wrapped around the knee at the same time and hit Moria's head with a bang. With this blow, Luffy didn't feel any sense of solidity, but as if he was hitting the air. Missed. Luffy's observation Haki captures Moria's location instantly. He looks again at the balcony where Moria just appeared. I saw Moria standing there, looking at Luffy see in horror, and Moria, who was caught by Luffy just now, turned into a dark shadow, judging from the shape of the shadow. It is Moria's own shadow, that's right. Damn, you were just Conqueror's entanglement. Moria also got to know New World when she was young, so she has some knowledge. If you have never eaten pork, you must have seen pigs running. You can be sure that what was wrapped around Luffy's lap just now is definitely a double compilation of Armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki. Don Quixote Doflamingo, surprisingly avoided the first blow. Awesome, Moria. Gecko Moria. Stop looking down on people. Do you think I will be defeated by Red Luffy like that idiot crocodile? Look, I have a secret weapon. As long as Red Luffy can't find out my secret, he won't be able to defeat me. As soon as Moria's voice fell, Luffy's arm stretched again instantly. Dang. I grabbed his head all of a sudden and then pulled it back suddenly a hole. Moria cursed secretly. She had already seen Luffy make a move, but he had no time to dodge how outrageous this is. When Luffy bumped Moria's head into his knee, his hand suddenly stopped. Subsequently, Conqueror's Haki was wrapped around this arm. It is equivalent to the person who holds Moria with Conqueror's entanglement and armed color entanglement. Then a fierce punch blasted out, heading straight for Moria's shadow. Nanny! Moria's eyes widened immediately. She was so angry that she wanted to curse. Moria's body is frantically switching back and forth between the shadow and the body. But all this is of no avail. Moria's body and shadow collided, and passed out cleanly puff, 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 as if being punched and vomited. Yin's shadow spewed out from Moria's mouth, frantically flying towards the misty forest. Sir Crocodile, is this your secret weapon? Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fur. Not bad. He lasted until the second blow of the red Luffy, Gecko Moria. That red Luffy is too much. How did he realize that my body and shadow are interchangeable? Dracule Mihawk. Analyzing the enemy's ability in battle is a basic requirement for a strong man, let alone a strong man with a talent like Red Luffy. Boa Hancock. Red Luffy is awesome. Quick, just follow these shadows. Let's get the money. Seeing a large number of shadows blowing out, Luffy waved his hand to signal everyone to follow. Luffy, do you want to cut this guy? Zoro pointed at Moria with a knife. Gecko Moria. That green BD. Seeing this scene, Moria was so angry. You're the only one who opens your mouth, right? You are the only one who can speak, right? Red Luffy is gone. You have to say something more. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fur. Prepare to be beheaded. No need. This guy is ABD, but the people he captured are still alive anyway. So let him live. There is no injustice or enmity in itself. Whether this person has any reason to kill him, naturally Luffy doesn't care. A person like Absalom who just takes off his pants by relying on the invisibility fruit and wants to do bad things to other women, it is definitely impossible for a normal person to spare his life. The killing of Crocodile in Alabasta before was also because Crocodile killed countless Alabasta civilians, so he deserves to die. And if Moria wasn't 7 warlords of the sea, Luffy would definitely take him and exchange it for bounties. But he is still 7 warlords of the sea, and he can't exchange bounties. However, there are genuine pirates here in the Misty Forest. Isn't it stupid to leave so many pirates alone? Zoro glanced at Moria, then sheathed his knife and left in the direction of Luffy and others. Gecko Moria. Hey, that's great. I'm not dead over there. Sir Crocodile, damn it. What does Red Luffy mean? Kill me over there so simply, but show mercy to Moria over there. Crane, those things you did in Alabasta, is it wrong to kill you? Gecko Moria. Hey. Seems like I'm at least not a bloody villain by Red Luffy's standards. Don Quixote da Flamingo. You're quite proud, aren't you? The scum that was turned over after 2 strokes. Gecko Moria. Anyway, I'm safe over there. Da Flamingo. I guess it will be your turn to play soon. At that time, let's see how you die. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fur. This video should be over after watching this video. Do you want me to appear? I have never met the Straw Hat Boy in real life. I made a fart scene. Moonlight Molly, good money. Oomph. Isn't it time for Summit War? The Straw Hat is already in Naval Headquarters, right? See if you die. Following the Shadow's flight direction, Luffy and his group of 5 came to Milu Forest -1 shadow. It's a shadow. My shadow is back. Great. Our shadows are all back. Who defeated Moria? Who helped us? The pirates in the Misty Forest were extremely excited. 10 cheered and ran toward the outside of the Misty Forest. When they came to the entrance of the Foggy Forest, they saw a huge balloon man here. Of course, there are 4 figures beside the giant balloon man, which can be ignored. Hi everyone. It was I who defeated Moria. Now I ask you, are all the people who lost their shadows in the Misty Forest here? Luffy, who turned into a giant balloon man, obviously attracted everyone's attention as soon as he opened his mouth. Yes. They're all here. So you saved us. Thank you so much. Thanks you. Thank you so much. Pirates shout loudly. Luffy smiled. Oh, thank you. You don't have to thank me. Everyone come with me now. Our boat is on the shore, and we're about to leave here soon. If you don't want to go with us, you can just stay with us, Ghost Island. Nami pressed one hand on the ground, and a crystal clear slide spread out in an instant, leading straight to the shore. She looked at the pirates. Okay, those who want to leave, just follow us on this slide now. Speaking, she jumped directly onto the slide, slid out of the way. Then the 4 of Luffy also slipped out. Pirates, look at me, I look at you. If you don't leave now, when will you stay? All slipped out. Chapter 133, Buggy Awakens. Please subscribe. At the end of chapter 472 of the original manga, Perona ran away ahead of time because she was afraid that her life would be in danger. Not only did she run away, but she also got money run away. Then I met Bartholomew Kuma and was slapped and sent to Hawkeye's house. Text dividing line. Thousands of miles of sunshine left the Devil's Triangle and headed straight for Sabeti Archipelago. On the deck, Luffy is leaning on a deck chair, wearing sunglasses, shouting lollipops, registered captain. Califa came with long legs, holding a registration form in his hand. Yeah, Luffy hummed. Califa opened the first page and read. There are 829 people in total. 73 of them did not offer rewards. 57 people did not include human life in the rewards. And the remaining number is 699. So much. Hearing this, Luffy's eyes sparkled. He pulled his sunglasses a little below the bridge of his nose and looked at Califa. How much is it? Califa tweeted the purple gold glasses. The total reward amount of the 699 people is 3.374 billion Baileys. Hiss. Even Luffy, who now has a net worth of nearly 4 billion, still can't help but take a deep breath after hearing this figure. Obey. If all the cash is exchanged for this, the net worth will be doubled directly. Still, the pirates are worth the money. What ammunition, what devil fruit. In front of selling pirates, everyone is a younger brother. Okay, tell Liu Qi and Kaku not to treat them badly. Give them good food and drink, beautiful, white, and fat. This is the god of wealth. It's better to get fatter and deliver Nami. Luffy over there is really making money. All of a sudden, it was more than 3 billion Baileys. Nami is drooling if this is from our side. How many beautiful clothes can I buy? If we have more than 3 billion Baileys in our hands, we still have to dig and search for everything to buy Usopp. Yes, they make money quickly, so they spend money generously to build the 1,000 miles of sunshine. The materials alone cost about 600 million berries. The labor cost is 100 million berries, and after the construction is completed, they paid 100 million berries. Bailey's red envelope. I'm so envious. Nico Robin. Actually, at the beginning, Luffy spent money and solicited it. Do you remember haggling for a long time when you bought it for Zoro? Later, the money increased, and he became more generous. Frankie 887. Haha, yes. In order to cut tens of thousands more Baileys, I fought with the shop owner to blush and thick-neck Trafalgar Law. It's normal. I was poor when I was poor, and I was rich when I was rich. The red straw hat over there is very real Sabeti Archipelago, island number 66. This is where the 6th branch of Marine is stationed. Nightfall's Locky Rear Admiral is sitting in front of the window, stroking the medal of Rear Admiral's military rank and the appointment of the base chief of the 6th branch of Marine. I never thought that I, Rocky Rear Admiral, would be lucky enough to be the Rear Admiral in this life. Recalling that half a year ago, I was a Marine colonel who seemed to have no hope of promotion, planning to stay in the 16th branch for the rest of my life. I didn't expect a good thing from heaven. 5 thugs beat him up and directly gave him a promotion to make a fortune. Not only was his rank promoted to Commodore, but he also became the base chief of the 2nd Field Branch of the Marine. Then, a few months later, it was the 5 gangsters again. He got promoted again. Not only was he promoted to Rear Admiral, he was also transferred from the 7th branch of Lilith Island to the 6th branch of Sabeti Archipelago. You know, this place was guarded by Marine Vice Admiral before. Now he is guarded by a newly promoted Rear Admiral, which shows how much the headquarters value him. My 5 hits. When will you come to see me again? Maybe I'll be promoted to Vice Admiral. Rocky Rear Admiral put away the medal and letter of appointment and is about to go to bed. But at this moment, the door of his room opened. Out of fighting instinct, Master Nwoji immediately stretched out his hand to the gun on the table. Keep reaching halfway. Loki Rear Admiral suddenly froze. This is... When he saw clearly the enemy that broke in before him, he was so excited. Come on. He didn't say anything, just opened his hands, indicating that he didn't have a weapon, and then rushed over with his head stretched out. The 5-member group of Straw Hat Bandit here is directly blinded. What's the situation? Where did the neuropathy come from? Buggy waved his stick with disgust on his face and hit him. Locky Rear Admiral screamed happily. then passed out. Everyone look at me, I look at you. It's all inexplicable, Scythe. Subsequently, the Straw Hat Bandit 5 found the vault. It's not enough. This is estimated to be just over 2 billion Baileys. Usopp made a rough calculation and said unhappily, "This is the sixth branch. Why is it so poor?" Luffy was also extremely depressed, then shook his head. "I will go back later and let Nami settle the accounts. Plus the 1 billion Baileys owed to us last time. Marine owes us at least 2 billion in profits." Speaking, Luffy stretched his arms, wrapped around the treasure chests one after another, and then slipped away with these treasure chests. After transporting the money back to the 1,000 Miles of Sunshine, the five of Luffy began to send the pirates to the marine base batch by batch. After that, I ran all night, come to an island near the Sabati archipelago. Luffy let go of all the guys that didn't have a reward, and there were no murders on the reward. It turns out that this sword is really Ryoma's saber. Kushu. Luffy looked at the introduction of Kushui on the famous knife atlas, and his face showed joy. 21 jobs with a big fast knife. Nami also stared wide-eyed. What luck! Such a famous knife was found on a zombie. Maybe Moria didn't study knives, otherwise it would be impossible to hang a big sharp knife on a zombie. Luffy rubbed his chin and analyzed then. He pointed at Zoro with his finger. He Dao Yuan, Suiza Kushui, 2 big sharp knives, 1 good fast knife. This guy is now a famous brand. Ha. Partners laugh out loud. By the way, we will head to the Fishmen Island next. Are you ready for the underwater adventure? At this time, Nami held a nautical chart and announced to everyone, "The Fishmen Island? That's great." Thinking of the Murloc sisters of the Fishmen Island, Sanji's eyes are crazy with little red sun. No, don't rush. But at this moment, Luffy rejected the proposal. He looked at everyone. During the day, everyone has already inquired at the Sabati archipelago. New World is more dangerous than the first half of the Grand Line. There are a lot of pirates with a reward of over 100 million, even the strong with Conqueror's Haki, often visible. And the most important thing is this. Luffy slapped a piece of information on the table. Nami picked it up, opened it, and read. The current known whereabouts of the red historical text. One is in the hands of 4 Emperors Charlotte Linlin, and the other is in the hands of 4 Emperors Kaido. One, yes. The information we have obtained from multiple sources of love in the Sabati archipelago is almost the same. The only whereabouts of the red historical text that can be determined so far are these 2 pieces. Anyway, since we're going to Raftel, then the content of these 2 red history texts must be obtained. Next, after we go to New World, we will face the 4 Emperors Regiment. So, our regiment can't have shortcomings. So, we will go to the next paragraph. It's time to concentrate on intensive training. Speaking of this, Luffy looked at Chopper, Robin, and Frankie, especially the 3 of you. The training time is relatively short, and you will have to improve yourself crazily in the next period of time. Yeah, Robin nodded. She knew that her strength could rank among the bottom 3 among the Straw Hat Pirates, so she understood the urgency of improving her strength. Okay, I will work hard too. Chopper also raised his little hoof. Practice. Super. Frankie has no objection either. Nami, I'm practicing again. Usopp, it's really just a matter of disagreement. Roronoa. Zoro, cultivation is a must. Go into the New World with their current strength. They are already much better than us, and they will continue to practice for a while before going to the New World, and they will be even stronger by then. Nico. Robin, in comparison, our side is like a random adventure, while their side is more like a well-prepared adventure. Monkey D. Luffy, it seems that we have to find time to practice hard for a while. I don't want the tragedy of the Mary to happen again. On an unknown island, the practice of the Straw Hat Pirates has begun. Luffy has designated compulsory and elective training plans for everyone. Compulsory courses are shaving, moonwalk, the latest Marine 6 Styles physical technique. This is Luffy's favorite. As long as you can practice moonwalk, you can guarantee a certain amount of staying in the air. Even if the capable person is knocked down to the sea, you can change direction in midair by relying on moonwalk and return to land, equivalent to life-saving skills. So Luffy stipulates that everyone must learn it, including 2 sisters, Kiwi and Maz. And shaving this body technique is to move quickly in an instant. And it is also a very practical life-saving and escapability. And moonwalk is like shave's high-level ability. So if you want to practice moonwalk, you must practice shave. In addition to the compulsory courses, the other is elective. According to the characteristics of each person, the direction of electives is also different, such as Robin. He is a flower fruit capable person, and her limbs can bloom anywhere she looks, and the strength of those limbs that bloomed inherited the strength of the main body. In this case, the strength of Robin's body is particularly important. So armament haki is Robin's main training direction. In addition, Tempest Kick is also a compulsory course arranged by Luffy for Robin. Judging from the current configuration of the Straw Hat Pirates, the main combatants are Luffy, Zoro, Buggy, Sanji, and Frankie. It can be said that the front row meat shield is enough, and Robin's fruit ability also determines her. It is not suitable to stand in the front row during battle. Her support with Nami is ideal. Nami's direction is pure support, but Robin is different. Luffy hopes she can become an AoE support because Chopper is Zoan Demon Fruit power, so it focuses on developing Devil Fruit, supplemented by Key Cultivation 1 Usopp, is mainly Observation Haki. Because Sanji does not use hands, Tempest Kick is also a very suitable way for him to practice while practicing armament haki. In addition, Luffy also let the Cleaners trio start the road of haki practice. Although they are just cleaners, this is no ordinary cleaner. This is the cleaner on the Straw Hat boat. If you don't know how to order haki, wouldn't it be embarrassing to say it? As the training of Straw Hat One Piece officially begins, time flies by like a white horse passing by in the blink of an eye. 2 months have passed. On this day, on the island, a burst of excited laughter burst into the sky. It's done. I succeeded. Buggy stands on the top of the mountain, laughing awakened. Luffy arrived here first, looked at Buggy in front of him, although his appearance didn't change much. But in terms of momentum, there was obviously some kind of essential transformation. That's right. Luffy, I finally awakened too. Speaking, after all, I can't wait to perform for Luffy. His hands flew out immediately and kept touching rocks one by one. All the rocks he touched immediately disintegrated and turned into countless crumbs. Rise! Buggy gave a low snort, and all the rock fragments flew up, forming a machete at least 10 meters long in front of Buggy. Under Buggy's control, the sick machete swept out towards the woods ahead. Brush! Without any hindrance, this 10-meter machete skipped over the trees in front of me. Boom! After a delay of 1 or 2 seconds, all the trees collapsed. Originally dense woods, now a piece of plum blossom pile, appeared directly. It could be split when you touch it. Luffy nodded and then asked, can these foreign objects that were split by you return to their original state? And it can be restored. The fault tolerance rate is extremely high. However, he looked at the crumbs that make up the 10-meter broadsword and said with some surprise, you just awakened. Can you directly crush other things to this extent? Seeing the splitting effect after Buggy's awakening, Luffy couldn't help giving a thumbs up. Powerful. Incredible. Oh, the degree of dynamic division comes. My body can actively split into the size of a grain of sand, so my splitting degree of external objects can also reach the size of a grain of sand. Ask for flowers, ask for evaluation, ask for rewards, ask for monthly pass. This kind of ability is very domineering. I see. Luffy's eyes widened. I have to say, just from the visual effect, Buggy's move is really exaggerated. When those fragments are reassembled together, they become intact rocks again. After hearing this, Buggy laughed immediately. It's all thanks to the good foundation you laid for me. After I wake up, the degree of division of external objects is based on the ability of my body to master. Buggy waved his hand and saw the 10-meter broadsword in the air disintegrate immediately, turning into countless pieces and falling to the original position, just as Buggy splits himself and comes back together. Chapter 134 Ace. Nanny? Luffy over there won't save me? Please subscribe. Buggy, is this the case of my fruit awakening? Looking at the picture of him manipulating stone fragments to form a 10-meter machete, Buggy's heart is beating wildly. The 10-meter machete is already so awesome. What about the 40-meter machete? What about the 100-meter machete? Besides, the most important thing is what a touch and what a break. This is the scariest thing. Shanks, Buggy, you should also awaken your fruit ability early. Then you will be invincible in naval battles. GOLD Roger. Yes, there is an awakened split fruit. Even if the Battle of Walter is repeated, I guarantee that the Golden Lion will only be the shit Shiki. Jahahaha. UBD. Which pot can't be opened and which pot can be lifted. But if Buggy's awakening split meets high, it will be a real headache. As the ability user of Lion Fruit, Lion can be said to be invincible in the sea. Don't mind you, Roger. Rocks, lousy, directly lead the fleet to shit on your head. But if you meet Buggy, just reach out and wipe it with your hand, and his fleet will be turned into a pile of crumbs, which will be troublesome. Time flies, another 2 months have passed. This day, Robin also received good news. Robin's Tempest Kick and Fruit Fusion skills are finally accomplished. 30 rounds of flowers blooming Tempest Kick. Robin crossed his hands in front of him, activated the fruit ability swipe, swipe, swipe. I saw slender legs protruding from the ground 2 meters in front of her. These roots stick out straight at first like poles standing on the ground. However, at the next moment, I saw these heels bent together and then kicked out instantly. Bath, bath, bath. Tempest Kick chopping waves formed in an instant, hitting the mountain wall violently. Boom. 30 waves of Tempest Kick hit the mountain wall, forming a violent explosion. The entire mountain wall has collapsed. Nico Robin, able to use Tempest Kick like this. Seeing the release of Robin's ability on the other side of the screen, Robin opened his mouth wide in horror. I have to say that combining the abilities of Tempest Kick and Flower Fruit in Marine 6 styles can create such a mass-killing group attack skill if it wasn't for watching movies. Luo would never have thought of the direction of this development. And now, Robin has begun to think about how to learn the physical skill of Tempest Kick. Nami, this is too strong. Even if there are thousands of troops on the opposite side, don't even think about breaking through Miss Robin's defense line. Vinsmoke Sanji, wow. There are so many beautiful legs of little Robin. Suck, Roronoa Zoro. Look at your discoloration. Califa. Her Tempest Kick is too sloppy kaku. Indeed, neither of us can beat her together. Luffy. Although it's powerful if you do it like this, it will require a lot of physical strength. It shouldn't last for a few rounds. Okay, Sister Robin, this is simply sweeping away thousands of troops. Nami's eyes are shining, looking at the blasted mountain wall. Amazed, it's really powerful, but consumes a lot of physical strength. This time, it consumes 1/6 of the physical strength. If I continue for a few rounds, I will collapse. One Robin put away his crossed hands, and those 30 long legs also disappeared. Don't worry too much about physical strength. If you really need to use this move, just remember to call Nami along. Luffy said. The practicality of the move just now, Luffy also very much recognized. Based on Robin's current development of Flower Fruit, even if 100 legs are released at the same time, it will not be a big problem. It's just that if 100 legs kick out the Tempest Kick chopping wave at the same time, then it will be very difficult. 30 legs kick out Tempest Kick chopping waves at the same time. This is the maximum comfortable amount that Robin can achieve under perfect control. What's the meaning? As for what Luffy said just now, Robin didn't understand a little bit. She looked at Luffy differently, and then at Nami. Hee. Let's experiment, and you will understand. Nami came up behind Robin, wrapped her arms around her, and said, Now, Sister Robin, you can use the ability Move Just Now again. Since Nami said so, Robin didn't think too much and immediately crossed his hands in front of his body, and the ability of Flower Fruit was activated. 30 long legs rose from the ground, fluttering and swaying, and then kicked forward at the same time. Whoosh whoosh, 30 Tempest Kick chopping waves suddenly formed, violently bombarding the Japanese, normally speaking. When these 30 legs kick out 2 chopping waves at the same time, energy consumption and fatigue will occur at the same time. But this time, Robin was shocked to find that the moment when fatigue was about to occur, it miraculously disappeared. Because fatigue does not occur, energy consumption does not occur. To put it simply, that is, her skill release this time means that she didn't consume physical strength, and it was completely white prostitution. How was this going? Robin turned around in shock, put his arm around Nami's shoulder, and asked in surprise. Nami's mouth raised a little proudly. This is my ability. As soon as I ate the ability of slippery fruit, Luffy asked me to try to develop the ability to slip away fatigue. It took me a full year to develop it. Come out. Slip away fatigue. Robin's eyes widened. He covered his red lips and exclaimed endlessly, "Doesn't that mean that as long as you are always by my side, I can release Tempest Kick indefinitely? If that's the case, wouldn't it be invincible?" That's not true. I have been working hard to improve the success rate of this skill, but the highest success rate can only be maintained between 90% and 96%, and it is impossible to achieve a 100% success rate. Also, this ability can only be used on others when you are in contact with it, and it must be predictable. It is almost the moment you launch the move, or use it a little earlier, otherwise the failure rate is extremely high. Nami explains. However, upon hearing this, Robin showed a startled expression. A success rate of more than 90% is outrageous. Okay, even if the limit is removed, there is still a 90% success rate. Based on the probability, it is equivalent to helping her recover 9 times of physical strength every 10 times. In this way, according to the extent that she could release 6 or 7 times, with the help of Nami, she can release about 670 such abilities. It is on the battlefield, releasing 60 or 70 times of such Tempest Kick bombing waves in a row. What is the concept? It's just a battlefield bulldozer. At this time, Luffy said, "This trick should be useful in the future. You two should cooperate with the training to increase the tacit understanding, so as to increase the success rate of sliding away fatigue." Well, yes, I also want to strengthen my physical training. With Nami's ability bonus, every little improvement in my physical fitness is equivalent to a 10-fold improvement. This is very important. Robin's passion for training immediately increased. Time flies. Another month has passed. On this day, Nami just finished training and waved to a messenger seagull flying past in the sky. The messenger seagull flies down. Nami tucked 100 Baileys into his pannier and grabbed a copy of the latest newspaper. "Let me take a look. Which god of wealth needs to be bound into a booklet by me?" While opening the newspaper, Nami took out the summer reward booklet. Compared to the original booklet, this reward booklet is much thinner, because those bounty hunters who were brought to naval headquarters in exchange for bounties have been removed from this booklet. Huh? What is this? Suddenly saw that today's headline was not a reward, but news of some kind of execution. Nami let out a confused voice. "What's wrong?" Luffy, who was resting on the Mary, heard Nami's voice next to him and went to the doctor curiously. Little Melly also looked towards Nami, curiously. "Look, it seems that Marine is going to execute a small captain of the Whitebeard pirates, and it's still in naval headquarters." Nami walked over while looking at the content. Suddenly, when she saw this guy's bounty offer, she immediately exclaimed, "Wow, you are indeed the captain of the 4 Emperor's Regiment. There is a bounty of more than 500 million. Seeing this price, Nami's eyes reveal the shape of Pele. More than 500 million! Are the pirates in New World so valuable? Hearing this number, Luffy's eyes lit up. 1 pirate is more than 500 million. If you catch him 100, isn't that a fortune? While starting to silently think about the plan to make a fortune after going to New World in the future, Luffy took the newspaper from Nami's hand. He looked at the headline and started reading. "Marine will be in naval headquarters in a week's time. Whitebeard Pirates, 2nd Team, Captain Fire Fist Ace. Shiki, the summit war over there is about to start. Edward Newgate. Gula la 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 la. This kid seems to be very interested in 500 million Bailey Boy Hancock. That's not right. The summit war will start in a week. Why hasn't Mr. Red Luffy over there gone to the concubine site to find a concubine?" 0 for flowers. Gecko Moria. Hee hee. You nympho. Is it possible that the red Luffy over there has nothing to do with you? Don Quixote da Flamingo. It seems very likely. Fuffer for Crane. It's good if there is no intersection. Judging from this situation, the Luffy boy over there should not have gone to the deep sea prison. If this is the case, the prisoners in the deep sea prison will not escape. Sengoku. Well, that's good. Gordy Roger. Are you two idiots thinking too much? Even if the red Luffy over there really goes to the deep sea prison, those prisoners can't escape. Kazuki Oden. Yes. With Hong Luffy's style of doing things, he blocked the door and recaptured them, and then went to the Marine branch base to collect the bounty rocks D. Zebek. Ha ha. That's true. Boa Hancock. No way. I really don't have a chance with Luffy-kun. My body and mind hurt so much, Ace. Reading the name, Luffy froze for a moment. Can't be such a coincidence. Then he continued to look down. I saw the full name of Fire Fist Ace, Portgasty Ace. Nanny. When I saw the full name, Luffy immediately confirmed that this Ace is the one who lived with him in Dayton's house. Although Luffy was practicing most of the time at that time, Luffy would go back to have dinner on time every day, and sometimes Ace would go back to eat, and the contact time was not too small. When it's been a long time, the two of them have communicated a lot, and they both know the relationship between each other and Garp, and they have recognized each other as brothers. Of course, if you want to say how strong brotherhood is, it must be bragging. What's wrong, Luffy? Seeing Luffy's surprised look, Nami immediately asked with concern. Luffy looked at the head portrait on the newspaper and twitched the corner of his mouth slightly. This person is my grandpa's adopted grandson. That is my brother in name Ma. Nami widened her eyes in astonishment. She was shocked. Is this your brother who is about to be executed? Luffy nodded, yeah. I don't have much contact with him. But if you continue from the perspective of Grandpa, he is indeed my brother. The current situation is that the Whitebeard pirates have announced that they will go to naval headquarters to rescue Ace on the day of the trip. Nami pointed to the information in the newspaper. If this is the case, then we will take the opportunity to take action, and there should be a great chance to rescue your brother. Save. Luffy frowned. Why save? Monkey D. Luffy. Huh? Seeing the red Luffy's reaction over there, Luffy was stunned. What's the situation? Red Luffy over there isn't going to save Ace? Poor Gasty Ace. Huh? Ace himself was also dumbfounded, although in his heart he did not want Luffy to save him. But when he heard Luffy over there say, "Why do you want to save him?" his heart suddenly became empty. 181. The Trafalgar Law. I don't think there's anything wrong with the idea of the Red Sombrero. The Red Sombrero and Ace over there only met each other when they were kids. P.S. Don't worry, Red Luffy's Summit War will still go, and people will be saved, but there are other reasons. Chatting with him, there is no emotion behind the Straw Hat and Ace, so his reaction now should be normal. Sabo has recovered his memory now. He cannot accept what Red Luffy did. Shanks, that's the truth. They're just brothers in name. If it's just an ordinary matter, the Red Luffy over there will definitely take action. But for such a big event, I know that the Luffy over there is not the Luffy here, but this kind of psychological blow is still hard to bear. GOLD Roger. With Hong Luffy's character, I really wouldn't be so reckless. Good guy. Think about how many bad things he has done. He deserves it if he is killed. When they heard that the reason why Hong Luffy didn't go to save Ace was actually this, all the viewers froze on the spot. Sabo, hey, what's going on with Luffy over there? Why didn't you save Ace? He wouldn't joke about his partner's life. Nami was stunned. She froze. Why? Luffy said calmly, look, naval headquarters would rather trigger an all-out war with the Whitebeard pirates than resolutely execute them publicly in naval headquarters. What do you think? It turned out to be because of this reason, aha. Chapter 135. Look, this is called a profession. Please subscribe. Poor Gasty Ace. Hey, does Luffy over there take me for granted? Marco, Red Luffy must have thought that your 550 million berry bounty was obtained by killing and setting fire all day long. Edward Newgate. Go. If he knew the real reason why Marine insisted on killing you, he wouldn't turn a blind eye. Sengoku. Nonsense. Red Luffy over there is no meddling. GOLD Roger. That's right. Red Luffy is indeed not a nosy person. But the problem is, it can't be completely someone else's business to him. I bet if he knows the truth that Ace is going to be executed, he will definitely take action. Sakazuki. He better shoot. Then I over there can wipe him out. Shanks. Where did you get your confidence? Because of the upcoming big event, Luffy decided to let the Straw Hat Pirates rest for a week, waiting for the big event to come. The newspaper said that the news agency of Sabaody Archipelago will broadcast the Summit War live. So the Straw Hat Pirates went to Sabaody Archipelago again when passing by Island 66. The Straw Hat Pirates and their party took a special look. Sure enough, the Marine Guard on Island 66 have been strengthened a lot. Luffy reminded, before we officially go to New World, come and visit again. Our 2.458 billion Baileys for the Marine time can't be counted. The other 4 members of the Bandit Five strongly agree. This Summit War live broadcast is a good opportunity for us to learn about the highest combat power of Marine and the combat power of 4 Emperors-level big pirates. Everyone should watch it carefully. Let us have a psychological preparation in advance for the enemies we may encounter in New World in the future. When 1,000 miles of sunshine came to a stop, 647, Luffy said seriously, "Good. Everyone understands that this is a rare opportunity. There is still about a week before the Summit War starts, and this week is completely a vacation." After landing on the shore, I immediately rushed to the most famous local restaurant because of my family. Look, that's him, Straw Hat Luffy, the big pirate with a reward of 200 million Baileys. Catch him and get rich. Suddenly, someone shouted beside the Straw Hat Pirates. Luffy and his group looked over and saw this guy with a watermelon head holding a piece of paper in his hand. His face was flushed with excitement. Look, next to him are Roronoa's Zoro and Nami, each offering a reward of 50 million Baileys. Catch them, a total of 300 million Baileys. We have 108 bounty hunters here. Let's go together. Okay, share the 300 million bonus together. Listening to the noise of these people around, the Straw Hat Pirates finally realized that they met their colleagues. Luffy Haki sighed. Leak the majestic Conqueror's Haki was released from him. The terrifying coercion is like 10 mountains pressing down on the top. All of these bounty hunters are stunned to the ground at once, foaming at the mouth, groaning. Only the bounty hunter who shouted just now didn't faint. It's not that he can resist Luffy's Conqueror's Haki, but that Luffy's Conqueror's Haki deliberately bypassed him. Come here, Lucian stretched out his right index finger and ticked the bounty hunter. This guy was completely frightened and stupid at this time. His legs were trembling nonstop, and the trembling Super Luffy came here. It's over. I kicked the iron plate this time. I'm gonna die. With fear, the watermelon-headed bounty hunter walks up to Luffy. Luffy reached out and took the Vice Admiral paper from his hand. It turned out to be a special periodical with the title, 10 Supernovas. Luffy frowned and looked at the bounty hunter with a watermelon head in doubt. Hey, does this paper mean that there are now 10 pirates with a bounty of more than 100 million on this island? Nanny? Watermelon-headed bounty hunter was stunned for a moment, looking at Luffy in disbelief. TB, as one of the 10 supernovas, don't you know about this? Our captain is asking you something. Buggy's eyes froze, and the sharp eyes immediately frightened the watermelon-headed bounty hunter. Watermelon-headed bounty hunter quickly nodded. Yes, there are 10 powerful pirates like you. Aha! Hearing what the watermelon-head bounty hunter said, Nami suddenly laughed. You must have misunderstood something, Luffy continued to ask. We have only just landed. How do you know we are here? The watermelon-head bounty hunter quickly replied. We bounty hunters are an alliance. There are people watching at every port. As long as it is a big boss with a reward of over 100 million, our alliance has already grasped their whereabouts, and we are waiting for someone. When the order is placed, everyone rushes up. Facing a strong man like Luffy, the watermelon-headed bounty hunter didn't dare to take any chances and answered honestly. As soon as these words came out, Luffy's eyes lit up. Oh, if you say so, you also know the whereabouts of the other 9 people are? Yes, the watermelon-headed bounty hunter was stunned for a moment. He looked at Luffy with a little fear. Luffy slapped his thigh. Great. Where are they? Let me ask. Speaking, the Watermelon Head bounty hunter took out an intercom bug and asked, "This is Watermelon Head. Please report the location of other supernovas except Luffy." Once seeing this situation, Luffy immediately looked at everyone and pointed at the intercom bug on Zigwita's hand. "Look, it's someone who specializes in this kind of thing." After a while, different voices came from the intercom. Island Restaurant number 24. Discover Supernova Jewelry Poly, Capone Beach. Hawkins. Island Bar number 21 discovers Skura Miracle App. Kid Eustace. Civilian Street number 21. Discover Urich, Kira, Drake, Trafalgar Law. No more, no less, exactly 9. Professional. Hearing that the intercom phone bug you sent an accurate report so quickly, Luffy couldn't help giving the Watermelon Head bounty hunter a thumbs up. At this time, Nami rubbed his hands, licked his little tongue, and said excitedly, "Wow. Luffy, I calculated these people add up to 1.743 billion Baileys. 9 people are worth so much money." Luffy stared wide-eyed, obviously also surprised by the price. They caught about 700 pirates before, and they were worth more than 3 billion Baileys. Now 9 pirates are worth nearly 2 billion. This is really cost-effective. Watermelon-headed bounty hunter looked at Luffy and Nami. Completely confused, what's the situation? Isn't this guy a supernova? Why do you have to look like a bounty hunter? Luffy looked at the Watermelon Head bounty hunter. "Hey, lead the way. Let's go to Island 21 first. There are many people there." A what? "If we delay our money-making, my aunt will not spare you." Nami raised his hand and slapped the Watermelon Head bounty hunter on the back of his head. Yes, yes, yes." Seeing Nami getting angry, the Watermelon Head bounty chain immediately led the way obediently. "Kid Eustace. That guy. Isn't he going to catch us over there?" Trafalgar Law. Looking at the situation, it is indeed doing this Skillickman. What a trouble. Even pirates like Crocodile and Moria are not his opponents. If he meets him, we don't know if we can get away. Urich, still thinking about getting away? Calm down. Let's see how we can each survive in his hands. Jewelry Poly. Damn Red Luffy. We didn't mess with him. Capone Beach. He only recognizes money. Led by the Watermelon Head bounty hunter. The Straw Hat Pirates soon arrived at Island 21. Where's this kid? He's the most expensive. Look for him. Luffy pointed to the Supernova special issue in his hand and asked the Watermelon Head gold hunter. Watermelon-headed bounty hunter pointed forward. "The bar. Here is the bar in front. There's also a Skirikman there." Luffy looked down at the Supernova special issue and was overjoyed. "These two add up to more than 500 million. That's great." When I came to the tavern, as soon as Luffy entered the door, his eyes immediately searched around and then fell on Kid Eustace. A moment later, he found the figure of Scrotchy Manup again. "Found it." Luffy smiles. Without further ado, it's the Conqueror's Haki release. The pirates present all turned their backs on their backs and fell to the ground, spitting out their mouths. Only Kid Eustace and Skirikman resisted. Hey. Damn it, this is Conqueror's Haki." Skirikman stood up directly, staring at Luffy in horror. It's not like he hasn't met a strong man with Conqueror's Haki before, but it's the first time he has seen someone who can use Conqueror's Haki to directly knock all his subordinates to the ground. Using Conquerors here. Under Kid's smoky eyebrows, there's an extremely cold and stern look in the eyes of the day. His Conqueror's Haki is also released violently. He looked at everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates with a dazed face, but none of them fainted. Then smoked Sanji. Look at his bewildered face. I laughed so hard, Frankie. I guess he has never seen a pirate group that can withstand the impact of Conqueror's Haki. Nico Robin. Although he also has Conqueror's Haki, but his Conqueror's Haki is not as good as Red Luffy's Conqueror's Haki over there. Gecko Moria. Hey. This kid is dumbfounded after using Conqueror's Haki. What? You all resisted my Conqueror's Haki. Kid looked at the Straw Hat Pirates with a shocked expression. However, what he said made Luffy ask in a daze. What? Did you use Conqueror's Haki? When the popular Luffy asked this question, the chat room burst into laughter. Using Conqueror's Haki didn't affect anyone on the other side. That's enough. As a result, the other party still asked such a question. Directly exploded on the spot. BD. FK me. Kid's mentality exploded. It's as if I punched you with all my strength. And you said, what tickled me? Although there is no attack power, but the insult is off the charts. Kid roars. The magnetic fruit ability activates the mouth. The metal equipment in the whole bar flew towards him in an instant. But before he could make a move, Luffy's big hand has already landed on his head. The covered armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki's super big hands directly covered Kid's entire head. Don't even try to succeed. Kid grabbed Luffy's wrist violently and was about to take it away, however, as Luffy's palm suddenly retracted. Kid's head and Luffy's knee had an intimate contact. No accident happened. Kid passed out cleanly and neatly, Nanny. Seeing this scene, Skira Kiminap's heart skipped a beat. Damn, Kid was killed in a single blow? Damn, what kind of monster is this Straw Hat Luffy? As supernovas, they naturally know about the bounties and strengths of other supernovas. It's like a student who wants to compete for the top at the same time in a class, so he must understand the situation of his competitors. Appu has learned about Luffy through the reward order and black market information, and knows that this guy's team has slaughtered the past guards of a World Government Alliance country, and also killed the 7 warlords of the sea. These two things made him have a bounty of up to 200 million Baileys. But obviously, this bounty is not outstanding in the entire Supernova team in 2-7. But this scene in front of me really frightened Skillick. The kid who killed 315 million Baileys in one hit is ridiculously simple. He didn't even think about it. He turned around and ran away. Blah, blah, blah. Straw Hat Boy. There will be a date later. Jumping on the spot, Slashmanap jumped directly towards the window's slippery surface. Nami raised his foot and stomped the ground, and immediately activated the ability of Slippery Fruit. Scarachi Manup just stepped on the window and suddenly slipped. Hey. Skira Kiminap's 2 arms quickly swung a few times in the air, and then fell to the ground with a plop, a hole. Who spilled oil on the window? He got up from the ground angrily and cursed. But at this time, Luffy's big hand has already reached his eyes. DC 1. When Luffy's palms suddenly tightened on his face, Skirk even felt difficult to breathe. And then he felt that his whole body was violently pulled forward. At this moment, what appeared in his mind was the appearance of Kid just now. Boom. One hit Conqueror's top knee. Skira also followed in Kid's footsteps. I won the lottery. Besides the 2 of them, they have so many younger brothers. Hurry up. Find them all. Luffy looked at the pirates lying on the ground and said, leave it to me. Frankie opened a cabin from his shoulder, took out a special rope, and happily rushed towards the pirates. Chapter 136, Frightened Luo. The first supernova to escape? Please subscribe. Kid Eustace. Damn it. It's also a hit. Seeing that he was killed in one blow by Luffy over there, Kid was so angry. Skillick. A hole. In front of him. Is it even a luxury to escape? Trafalgar Law. Hee 2 idiots. Skira Don't be complacent, Ro. Do you think your end will be any different from ours? Rafalgaro, look, I don't think I'm necessarily caught. Jewelry Polly. This BD, does he only know this trick? Seeing that Hong Luffy hit everyone with one blow to the knee, Jewelry Polly was a little uneasy. She is a woman after all. How ugly it would be if the nose was bruised and the face was swollen by the red Luffy over there. Capone Beach. Were you expecting? Don't worry. Hong Luffy is also not soft on women. After coming out of the bar, Frankie pulled a rope in his hand, and a series of pirates were tied to the rope if you look at it from a distance. It looks like a big thunder grape. The bodies of these pirates are all covered with a slippery film by Nami using the ability of the Slippery Fruit. Frankie only needs to gently tug on the rope, and he can easily drag these pirates away. Watermelon-headed bounty hunter is thinking about running away right now. According to his opinion, neither of the 2 inside is weaker than Straw Hat Luffy, and Luffy brings a group of people in. Obviously, it will be a fierce battle. If you slip away at this time, wouldn't it be an opportunity to learn well? However, while he was still thinking about this question, a palm was already clapped on his shoulder. hurry up. Let's go to Minmin Street. Ah, woke up suddenly. The watermelon head bounty hunter was startled. Then when he saw Frankie behind Luffy dragging a large group of pirates, the watermelon-headed bounty hunter was so shocked that his eyes almost fell out. No, not right. Kid and Apu must be gone. Straw Hat Luffy and his gang took the opportunity to harvest their little brother. The watermelon-headed bounty hunter guessed, but this thought just came into his mind when his gaze fell on a red-haired man. 30. Hiss. He suddenly took a breath of air. Isn't this Kid Eustace? He took another look. Isn't the thing that was bundled with Kid exactly Skalaki Changap? No. B. How long did it take for them to enter in total? The time from entering the door to leaving the door is added together, and it must not exceed 1 minute. In such a short period of time, they actually defeated all the captains and main forces of the Kid Pirates and the Radio Pirates. No. Not only defeated, but also packed. If you didn't see it with your own eyes, the watermelon head bounty hunter would never believe such a thing. Hey, what are you still doing in a daze? Take us to Minmin Street. If you delay my money, I can't beat you to death. Seeing that the watermelon-headed bounty hunter was still in place, Luffy urged. Watermelon-headed bounty hunter quickly lead the way. Not long after, they came to Minmin Street. Just arrived here and saw two people fighting. It's the strange monk Urge and the killer warrior Kira. Nami shouted excitedly. At this time, the weapon outlines of the two collided together, and a figure suddenly appeared between the two of them. Nami's eyes lit up. It's Drake. He's also the guy who offered a bounty of more than 200 million Baileys. Boom. Drake holds a sword in one hand and an axe in the other. Blocking the attacks of Urge and Kira respectively, he pretended coldly and said, "Hey, if you have the ability, go to New World and make trouble." It turned out that just as his words fell, two big hands suddenly fell from the sky. One grabs Urge's head, the other grabs Kira's head, whizzing. Drake didn't realize what was going on, and suddenly found that the two people around him disappeared. He subconsciously turned his head to look to one side, and immediately saw the Straw Hat Luffy, who also belonged to the Supernova, jump up with double knees, directly knocking Urge and Kira to the ground. The two fell to the ground, and they didn't move at all as if they were dead. Then I saw a muscular man in swimming trunks rushing to Urge and Kira, dragging a bunch of pirates, and skillfully tied them both to the bunch of human strings. Wait, that's... Suddenly, Drake's eyes fell on the large string of people, and his pupils shrank suddenly, because he saw the Kid, also saw the Sprock man up. Now add Urge and Kira, that is to say, that Straw Hat Luffy and his gang have captured 4 supernovas. Kid Eustace with the highest bounty is also included. Drake's heart suddenly sucked in a breath of cool air, immediately have a bad feeling, and on the stone bench not far behind him, a pirate wearing a Madara plush cap also saw this scene, and his expression changed drastically. What? That Straw Hat guy. Seeing the scene in front of him, Trafalgar Law immediately realized what Luffy killed the two with one blow, and stretched out his hand to grab Drake without hesitation. Damn, Drake doesn't have any thoughts of fighting right now. He is not a fool. Judging from how Luffy dealt with Urge and Kira neatly just now, if this guy deals with him, I'm afraid he won't use the second blow. He turned and ran without hesitation. Ouch! As soon as I turned around and exerted force on my feet, it seemed like I was stepping on the air. Drake slipped and fell to the ground. Then he felt something covering his head, and it was dark whoosh. Luffy grabs Drake and takes it back, then hits a knee. Then he threw it to Frankie, and then he looked at the watermelon head bounty hunter. So there are 4 here. Is there another one? Watermelon head bounty Lotus is numb at this time. He didn't know how Luffy dealt with Kid and Skirak Mana before, but now he saw the scene just now. He already knew what happened to Kid and Skura. At this time, when Luffy questioned him, he hurriedly, forcibly pulled himself out of the shock, and then looked around. No, I didn't see. Afterwards, he picked up the intercom. This is Watermelon Head. Has anyone seen Trafalgar Law? I just said that he was at number 21 Island Comet Street. An immediate response came from the intercom. Watermelon, I saw you. Trafalgar Law was on the stone bench about 150 meters in front of you just now, but just a moment ago, he suddenly disappeared. Now the doctor is going to see his target. Has anyone else found traces of Trafalgar Law? The watermelon-headed bounty hunter asked again. However, only a few know came from the intercom bug, the edge of Island 21. Trafalgar Law suddenly appeared here out of nowhere. His face was pale, sweating profusely, and he was breathing profusely. Damn, why is there such a strong guy in the supernova? Just now I saw Luffy kill 3 people in an instant. Trafalgar Law didn't even make a sound, so I just used the fruit ability Yongzhe King to teleport. Because the slaughterhouse's teleportation range is very limited, Trafalgar Law has been using the teleportation ability continuously and has moved to the edge of Island 21. He took out the phone bug and shouted anxiously, "PayPal, pay Gene. Quickly take everyone back to the boat. We have to leave this island quickly." Although he is a pirate, Tefalgaro is very calm. He recalled what happened just now and quickly judged that Luffy must have some purpose to catch all the supernovas. If he stays here, he will definitely be murdered by Luffy. Kid Eustace, this BD, his strength is not very good, but his escape method is slippery. Drake, it's outrageous. In front of the Red Luffy, we really can't even have a chance to escape Trafalgar Law. As I said earlier, I can escape for sure. Falgaro is still very confident about his fruit ability Bartolomeo. Senior Red Luffy is so handsome. Cavendish. Fortunately, Hong Luffy and I are not in the same period. Otherwise, it will be difficult at the moment ding. Enter the prize-winning answering session. At this moment, a question appeared on the big screen. Question: how many people in the supernova were not caught by Red Luffy in the end? A. 0 people. B. 1 person. C. 2 people. D. 3 people. E. For people Joel. D. Roger. Another answer. Rox, answer quickly. Rox. D. Zebek. Roger. I'll FK your grandma. Shiki. Jiahahaha. People who can't answer the questions can only be incompetent and furious. GOLD. Roger. Ah, sorry, I forgot again. You're still forbidden to answer questions this round, Charlotte Lin. Wahaha. Izambaron v. Nasuro-san. Choose B. GOLD. Roger. Oh shit. 5 elders can't sit still. Izambaron v. Nashu Langsheng. Need you to take care of it? GOLD. Roger. The tone is really unfriendly. Then I also choose B. Nami. B. Jewelry Polly. I've been chosen. Judging from the current situation, option B is the most likely option. Crane. Choose E. Sengoku. Crane. Seeing Tsuru Vice Admiral choose E, Sengoku was so excited. If Crane Vice Admiral is analyzed, then why would he want to miss such a good opportunity? Crane, don't ask, I'm just guessing. Now there are only 4 supernovas left, and the largest number of people who can answer this question is 4. So I chose E. Zephyr. Sometimes it is indeed possible to analyze in this way. But judging from the answers of this movie viewing system so far, the answers to these questions are not regular at all. It cannot be inferred with common sense. Crane, I know, but I have to take a gamble. I haven't been detained for life. Even if I lose the bet once, it's no big deal. What if I win the bet? Now, when I have the opportunity to answer the question, I always feel that I'm not sure about it, and it will be too late to regret it. Maka's mashing. It makes sense. I'll choose E2. Frankie, choose E. This time the problem happens to be stuck with this number of people. Maybe it's this one. Nico Robin. Then I'll choose A. Monkey D. Luffy, huh? Robin. Trafalgar Law. Robin is in charge. I've run away, Nico Robin. I just ran away temporarily. I was just thinking in reverse. What if you're caught back after you ran away? 870-inch Joel D. Roger. It makes sense. Damn it, I chose early. I blame that BD, Nashidro-san. I chose B. Izambaron V. Nashidro-san. Crazy. Shiki. Then I will choose A. Try to give me another great reward. Jiha-ha-ha. J. Galucius Satan-san. A. Basil Hawkins. Why didn't anyone take C? I feel like I should be able to run away. Jewelry Polly. Okay. Then I choose D. Basil Hawkins. I said C. Jewelry Polly. I know. You can run there, but you know I can't escape? Don't underestimate my fruit ability. Capone Beach. I guess I can't escape. I'm with Jewelry Polly. Choose D. Roranoa Zoro. Choose D. Girl with a big stomach. I'll choose with you too. We're even. Jewelry Polly. If you choose the right one, please remember to treat me to dinner. Roranoa Zoro. Stop daydreaming. Countdown to answer the question. With the end of the countdown, the red frame video continued to play not here. Luffy looks at the empty stone in front, judging from the information that the bounty hunter said just now, that Trafalgar Law was still there just a few seconds ago. If this is the case, it must not be far away. Suddenly, Luffy's observation haki was opened to the maximum and released. In an instant, his observation haki covered the entire civilian street. However, there are a lot of houses on both sides, and there are too many people, so it is impossible to cover too far, even with Luffy's top-level observation haki. Observation haki makes judgments by perceiving the breath and emotional changes of creatures. If there are only two people, even if the two people are far away from Luffy and there are many building blocks in between, Luffy can lock them clearly. But if there are 10,000 people, even if everyone gathers in a square, it will take a certain amount of time for Luffy to find him out of the crowd by relying on observation haki. After all, the more people there are, the more and more messy the breath and emotional changes will be, and the greater the impact will be. After searching for a while, Luffy failed to find any trace of Trafalgar Law and said in a very depressed mood, "Damn, I was careless, and I missed 200 million Bailey." Nami also gritted her silver teeth and said angrily, "This cunning 200 million Bailey man. Next time you meet him, you must not spare him. If you missed one, you can't miss the second one. Hurry up. Go to Island 24 immediately. Catch the remaining 3 and bring them to justice." Luffy waved his hand, and everyone went in the direction of the mighty Super Island 24. Chapter 137 Celestial Dragons will be chopped down if there is a disagreement. Please subscribe. Come to Island 24. Here, the bounty hunter with the watermelon head humbly leads the way in front. Boom! A gunshot. Luffy stretched out his arm and instantly pulled the watermelon-headed bounty hunter back. The bullet immediately flew past where the watermelon-head bounty hunter was standing just now. A child cried out in pain. Luffy turned his head and looked. It turned out that the bullet just missed the watermelon-head bounty hunter, but landed on a child kneeling on the ground not far away, and directly opened a big hole in the child's arm. Everyone noticed that all the people around were kneeling on the ground. Only the group of people walking over the red tree bridge next door and the group of Luffy were standing, and the person who shot just now is none other than the Tian Long people surrounded by the crowd on the red tree bridge next door. Damn, Luffy is burning with anger. He instantly noticed a bullet flying towards the watermelon head bounty hunter just now, and he subconsciously pulled the watermelon head bounty hunter back D, but what he never expected was that the bullet that was supposed to hit the bounty hunter with a watermelon head fell on a child. Chopper, save people, Luffy yelled quickly, and then suddenly cast his eyes on the group of people at the red tree bridge next door. The geographical composition of Sabeti Archipelago is equivalent to 6 large islands surrounding 2 large islands, a total of 8 large islands. Each large island can be divided into 10 labeled small islands, and the boundaries between small islands are connected by mangrove bridges. For example, Luffy and the others are now coming from island number 23 to island number 24. There are many mangrove bridges on the border here. The red tree bridge that Luffy and the others walked happened to be adjacent to the one that the Tian Long people walked. When Charles Rose came out of the red tree bridge, Luffy and his party hadn't arrived yet, but he didn't walk by himself, but sat on the back of a slave and let the slave crawl on the ground, so the speed was not fast, and he just happened to search the crowd to see if there is any woman he likes. Although what he didn't expect was that the group of people coming out of the Honshu Bridge next door didn't notice him, but walked forward swaggeringly, especially the one with the watermelon head walking in the front, who is nodding and bowing. Those who don't know thought he was leading the way for the Tian Longren for this kind of situation. St. Charles Rose couldn't stand it, so he shot without hesitation. In his opinion, One shot is enough, no matter whether the watermelon head is dead or not. The others will definitely be scared to kneel on the ground. Immediately, St. Charles Rose really enjoyed that scene contrary to what he expected. Not only did the watermelon head not get shot, but another guy with a straw hat dared to look at him like that one. How dare you stare at me? St. Charles Rose was extremely surprised. He raised the gun in his hand without hesitation and was about to make a hole in Luffy's body. Let him have a long memory. Luffy was angry at this time because of the incident of saving an innocent child by saving the watermelon head just now. Seeing that the culprit actually wanted to shoot him, he immediately yelled, "Zoro, cut him off, brush!" Zoro stepped out of the Red Tree Bridge in one step and jumped towards the Red Tree Bridge where the Tianlong people were. "Nani? How dare you offend the celestial dragons? Kill him, court death." The guards and bodyguards around St. Charles Rose all took out their weapons and pointed at Zoro. "All cut." Luffy's angry voice came from behind again. "Just what I want." Happiness is outlined in the corner of the mouth. Zoro's figure is like a gust of wind rushing into the crowd in front cross-section. In just a few seconds, a body was broken on the mangrove bridge. Gullilu, the head of St. Charles Rose, rolled along the slope of the mangrove bridge to the ground of Island 24. Death can't rest in peace. Sengoku. Nonsense. Carrot. Sora. You actually killed a celestial dragon. Roxy. Zebek. Haha. Well done. Lousy also wanted to kill the Tianlongren back then. But it's a pity that the group of idiots under him are all cowards. Capone Beach. I thought what Luffy over there did was outrageous enough, but I didn't expect that the red Luffy over there was even more outrageous. Kid Eustace. Yes, although the listener is not taken seriously here. At most it's just a beating, but if there is any disagreement over there, they will be cut off. Jewelry Polly. In this case, the Marine Admiral over there should be coming soon. According to this situation, the Marine Admiral that appeared over there should also be Kizuru. Roronoa Zoro. Good job. If this BD dies, there will be many fewer ordinary people killed by him. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fufurfur. What a shameless guy. The people present suddenly saw that the Tianlongren had been killed, and they all screamed in horror. Many people get up and run. There are also some who are frightened and paralyzed in place, not daring to move their mouths. Why are you wearing collars around your necks? Zoro looked at the few remaining people and asked in a deep voice. These people didn't hold weapons just now, so Zoro didn't kill them. ABG. These slaves were also overly frightened by the incident before them, and only after hearing Zoro talking to them did they wake up from the shock. A very good-looking female slave replied nervously, "We are the slaves of Lord Charlevoix. Yes, we are slaves." Several other slaves also spoke. Slaves? From now on, you are not. Zoro frowned slightly and reached for the collars around the necks of these slaves. Don't! The female slave quickly grabbed Zoro's wrist and shouted, "No, there's a bomb in here." However, Zoro didn't seem to hear this. A jet black medium appeared on his wrist, and then he broke it hard and threw the broken collar into the sky boom. The collar explodes in the air. Boom, boom, boom. Among the shocked eyes of these slaves, the collars on their necks were all broken by Zoro and thrown into "Run now while you're at it." After leaving a word, Zoro left without looking back. Saving people is just a matter of convenience. As for whether they are willing to escape, it is none of his business. The chopper over there also bandaged the injured child, gave him some medicine for trauma, and instructed him how to use it. However, the child's father knocked off the medicine bottle in Chopper's hand. It's all your fault. If your guy in the straw hat pulled that watermelon head away, our child wouldn't be hurt. Why don't you kneel down when you see the Tianlong people? It's because of you that they angered the Tianlong people. Our children suffered such pain. You are devils. The child's mother also roared angrily. Confusion appeared in Chopper's eyes gone. Seeing this, Luffy didn't say anything more, stretched out his hand, pulled Chopper back, and then walked forward. Restaurant on Island 24. Hawkins, what are you? Why are you staring at me? Noticing that Hawkins' eyes are cast towards this side from time to time, Beej asked, very unhappy. I'm counting the chances of you being able to enter the new world alive. Hawkins said calmly. Capone Beej said disdainfully. What? What are the chances of lousy? 1%. Hawkins replied. Ha ha. Capone Beej laughed out loud. Hey, Hawkins, are you looking for death? Capone Beej couldn't believe the probability given by Hawkins. Believe it or not, seeing that Capone Beej doesn't believe it, Hawkins is too lazy to talk nonsense. Hey, fortune teller, look at me. At this time, Jewelry Polly looked at Hawkins while gnawing on the pig's trotter. I saw Hawkins immediately began to turn a few cards in his hand. After a while, his complexion became sour. Weird. Why is your chance of entering the new world alive is 1%? If only one person is like this, it means that he will be in great trouble. But if two guys who have nothing to do with each other are both 1%, this is obviously abnormal. Jewelry Polly pouted. Hey, fortune teller, are you suddenly stupid? This is the Sabati archipelago. As long as you pass through the Fishman Island, you can successfully reach the new world. And this guy in front of me actually said that the chance of her reaching the new world alive is only 1%. Isn't that nonsense? However, at this time, Hawkins has no time to argue with him about this matter. He thought of a possibility. A few cards were flipped by him quickly in front of him, and soon his expression changed. Not good. My chance is also 1%. Others may not believe it, but Hawkins knows that his fortune-telling will never be wrong. Although there are many things that he can't calculate the probability of, but as long as he can calculate the probability will never go wrong. No. My journey can't stop here. The way out. Where's the way out? Hawkins flipped the cards in front of him quickly, and he didn't even have time to catch his breath. After a while, his card stopped. A silver lining. He heaved a sigh of relief. Hawkins stood up suddenly. Under the surprised eyes of Capone Beej and Jewelry Polly, Hawkins went straight to the back door without looking back. With a bang, he pushed open the door and go, so anxious? You won't really figure out anything? Capone Beej frowned suspiciously. Boss, you don't need to see that woman anymore. At this moment, the strange gun Vader pointed in the direction of Jewelry Polly and said, Nanny. Capone Beej subconsciously looked at Jewelry Polly's position, but found that Jewelry Polly's figure was no longer there. He turned his head and looked towards the back door where Hawkins escaped just now, but he didn't see Jewelry Polly, only a little girl ran out from there. DC Strange Gun Vader asked cautiously, Boss, I heard that Hawkins is very accurate in fortune-telling. Should we also retreat quickly? Okay, let's go too. Thinking of this, Capone Beej immediately put down the knife and fork in his hand and stood up quickly. I saw him stretch out his hand, and an open door appeared in his palm. Then all the boys around got in. The moment these people got close to the palm of Capone Beej, they all shrunk quickly and were sucked in at this time. A girl's voice came from the direction of this door. It's Capone Beej. A reward of 138 million Baileys is offered. There is still a small surprise in the voice. Capone Beej looked over and saw Luffy and his party. Straw Hat Luffy. He narrowed his eyes slightly, looked at Luffy, and said coldly, What? Do you want to have a fight? Luffy didn't answer this question, but looked around, and then looked at Capone Urki. Didn't it mean that Jewelry Polly and Hawkins are here too? One puffing a cigar, Capone Beej replied coldly. Those two guys escaped from the back door just now. Although his bounty is only 138 million Baileys, the opponent is only a guy with 200 million Baileys. Capone Beej will not be afraid of the other party because of the difference in reward. As an ability user of the castle fruit, Capone Beej believes that as long as he unfolds the big castle, the guy who offers a reward of 200 million will be easily consumed by him. What? Run away. Hearing this, Luffy immediately showed a horrified expression. Damn it. Those two guys together are almost 400 million Baileys. Without the slightest hesitation, Luffy directly rushed to Lee's towards the back door. When Luffy Capone Beej, Luffy took advantage of the opportunity to kneel. Boom. Capone Beej felt as if a huge earthquake had suddenly occurred in his head. Two eyes were completely black, and then completely lost consciousness. Luffy came to the back door, with Capone Beach in his hand. Observation Haki was released quickly, then he let out a sigh of relief. Damn it. They ran away. Capone Beach. Nanny? Of the three, I was the only one caught. Basil Hawkins. You idiot. I've already warned you over there. Who is to blame if you don't believe it yourself? Obviously, that woman is much smarter than you. Jewelry Polly, I guess. The reason why I ran away with you over there is probably not because I believe in your divination, but because I wanted to use this excuse to escape orders. They all say that they know themselves best because El Polly is naturally the same. I didn't expect that the self over there actually escaped a catastrophe. In order to escape the order, it seems that we will have to escape orders a lot in the future. Well, that's it. Rorinoa Zoro. So, am I right again? Jewelry Polly, huh? Ha, swordsman. We're going to get rewards again. Ding. Anyone who answers wrongly in this prize quiz will be punished. Isan Baron V. Nasha Langshung. The right to answer the next round of questions will be deprived, and life expectancy will be deducted for 5 months and 11 days. GOL E. Roger. The right to answer the next round of questions will be deprived, and a life expectancy will be deducted for 7 months and 3 days. Nami, deprivation of the right to answer questions in the next round, 2 months and 19 days of life deducted. Jewelry Polly, deprive of the right to answer the next round of questions, deducting 8 months and 22 days of life. Copy Rorinoa Zoro, deprive of the right to answer the next round of questions, and deduct 8 months and 15 days of life. Chapter 138, Frankie swallows the pacifist. Please subscribe. Rorinoa Zoro. Nanny? Not option D. Jewelry Polly. Hey. Is this viewing system wrong? Trafalgar Law, me and Hawkins. Isn't it 3 people? The 2 people who had already started to celebrate the reward in their hearts suddenly saw that they were punished. This feeling, it's like being forcibly fed a mouthful of shit. Trafalgar Law. What's the situation? Judging from this penalty, option E is judged to be the correct option. Crane. Is it actually E? Did I get it right? Shouldn't it be D? Although the answer given by the viewing system seems to be E, Crane Vice Admiral is a little confused just now when Capone Beach was caught by Red Luffy. Crane Vice Admiral pinched himself hard, very depressed. However, when the correct answer was given to her, Crane Vice Admiral still couldn't believe it. I'm afraid that the viewing system made a mistake, and I will correct it in the next moment. Maka's Mazsheng. It's strange. I also got the answer right. Frankie, if the viewing system is wrong, will it be corrected? Sengoku, no. The answer is E. This question has a brain teaser. Sengoku suddenly found a problem hearing what Sengoku said. Toru Vice Admiral also reacted immediately. Crane. Oh, the question is how many people in the supernova have not been caught by Red Luffy? Then the supernova who has not been caught by Red Luffy should also include Red Luffy himself? Puff. Everyone heard he Vice Admiral's analysis, and they all couldn't help but spit out their old shit too much. But if you think about it carefully, the current situation is really like this. Trafalgar Law, Jewelry Polly, Basil Hawkins, and Red Luffy. Aren't these the 4 supernovas that were not caught by the Red Luffy Jewelry Polly? Ah, this question is too much. I blame the swordsman for choosing me and destroying my luck. Rorinoa Zoro. Idiot girl with a big stomach. Just remember, now you owe me more. Zoro is extremely depressed. Jewelry Polly chose with him, but he was favored by him, and the 2 were rewarded, and he followed Jewelry Polly to choose, and ended up with her mold, and both of them were punished. Even the life expectancy is almost deducted as much. Ding. The top 3 correct answers in this prize quiz are Crane, Maka's Mazsheng, and Frankie. Congratulations to the 3. Get rewards. Congratulations to Crane. I will reward you for being 15 years younger. Congratulations to Maka's Mazsheng. Reward the natural will snake blood. Electricity 1370. Congratulations to Frankie. Reward the little Sekiryu cage hand. Ding. Because the natural will of the serpent blood, electricity, and the cage hand of the little red dragon emperor are magical things from Otherworld, special remarks are made. Natural will Orochi blood electricity. Remarks Integrate natural snake blood electricity. You can get the power of thunder and lightning. Maka's Maz Sheng. The power of thunder and lightning. Not bad. Plus my own power. This is definitely a very suitable ability for me. As the demon fruit power of the Phantom Beast, the strength of its physical body is very powerful. Now, with the power of thunder and lightning, is undoubtedly equivalent to the fusion of Logia and Phantom Beast. Remarks on the cage hand of the Little Red Dragon Emperor. Because the soul of Sekirei Drake was lost, the artifact was named the Little Sekirei's Cage Hand, which has the power of multiplication, transfer, and slaughter. At the same time possesses the armor of the Forbidden Hand and Small Red Dragon T. Usopp. Armor. Tony Chopper. Wow. It's armor. Vinsmoke Sanji. Hey. Just from the sound of the name, you know that this armor must be amazing. Frankie, aha! This artifact seems very powerful. It can assist, it can be the main attack, and the key is that it can transform into armor. Super. Naval Headquarters, Marine Forge, Xiaoha. Congratulations. You are young too. Seeing that the appearance of Crane Vice Admiral changed quite a bit, Garp happily shouted at Crane Vice Admiral. Yes, I didn't expect this question to be hit by mistake, and I got it right. It feels so good to be 15 years younger. Crane Vice Admiral made no secret of his inner joy. It was beyond words, although Tsuru Vice Admiral is almost 60 years old after being 15 years younger. But for them, the strength of this young man has not deteriorated significantly compared to the peak period. The most important thing is my waist is no longer sore, my back is no longer painful, and my heel is no longer cramped. Take it easy. She looked at Sengoku happily and was about to say something, but suddenly saw Sengoku's gray hair at the temples and suppressed all the words she wanted to say. Congratulations, little. Sengoku said congratulations on his mouth, but he felt uncomfortable in his heart. The four companions at the same time, Zephyr, Garp, and Crane were all 15 years younger, but he was not only not young, but also aged about 2 years. My heart is very bitter. Gol. D. Roger. Congratulations, Tsuru Vice Admiral. You, Garp, and Zephyr are getting younger. Shiki. Jiahahaha. Roger, you have bad intentions. Why don't you congratulate Sengoku for getting the Dawei, Tianlong Cassock? Gol. D. Roger. Look at what you said. Sengoku is feeling very bitter right now. Congratulations to him now. Isn't he asking for trouble? Happy face. Sengoku. Shut up. Roger, don't think I don't know what you're thinking. Trying to PS me off? I won't be fooled. Gol. D. Roger. Actually, you are still angry, right? Sengoku. I'm mad at your mother. Gol. D. Roger. Hey, the quality is extremely low. Luffy couldn't find the whereabouts of Hawkins and Jewelry Polly, so he had to go back angrily. Seeing Luffy approaching, the watermelon-headed bounty hunter said tremblingly, Big brother, I also brought the road, you see. Can you let me go? Luffy puts his arms around the shoulder of the watermelon-headed bounty hunter. Don't worry, just do one more thing for me, and I won't have anything to do with you. What? What is it? Follow me. 1 hour later, edge of Island 66. Watermelon Head Bounty Hunter dragged 19 big treasure chests back from Marine Base with Frankie's rope. When he came to Luffy and the others, he said nervously, Boss, everything has been changed, and it's all here, a total of 1.914 billion Baileys. One Luffy gave Califa a look, and Califa immediately stepped forward to check. After a while, she nodded. The number is right. Hearing this, the watermelon-headed bounty hunter breathed a sigh of relief, then looked nervously at Luffy. Boss, then I can go? Not yet, Luffy said coldly. At this moment, the heart of the watermelon-headed bounty hunter suddenly became cold. It's all over. If you don't let him go, then there's only one possibility. Killing and silence. Just when he was thinking about his wife and children at home and wanted to cry, a stack of Baileys with a large face value was stuffed into his hands. You can go now. Luffy's voice fell calmly in his mind. This. Looking at such a large pile of Baileys in his hand, the watermelon head bounty hunter knew that it was a fraction of the bounty he had exchanged just now. Yes, a fraction of 14 million Baileys. A person who could kill him at any time gave him so much money. How dare he take it? But the other party handed over the money. If he doesn't pick it up, it seems that he is too disrespectful to the boss. However, if you really take the money, if the other party says, I really dare to take it for you, wouldn't it be cool? For a while, the watermelon-headed bounty hunter didn't pick it up, and it didn't matter if he didn't pick it up, as if the money was delivered to, what are you doing in a daze? This is the information fee. You deserve it. Finding that the other party was still in a daze, Luffy put the money on the ground, then patted the other party on the shoulder and took him away. Watermelon-head bounty hunter dares to pick up the money. He looked at Luffy's back and suddenly shouted, Boss, you run away quickly. The Tianlong people were killed, and the Marine side, Dhaka, will immediately send Marine Admiral to come as soon as they receive the notification. Luffy stopped, turned to look at Watermelon Head, and smiled slightly. Thank you. Leaving Island 66, Luffy and his party went to Island 33, and their boat docked at the pier of Island 3B, since Marine Admiral is coming. Shall we stop and deal with Marine Admiral? Zoro asked. Luffy frowned slightly. Can Admiral be exchanged for bounties? Of course not, Nami said with a smile. Luffy spread his hands. That's it. And we don't have any money. What are we going to fight with him? An admiral must be very powerful. If he teaches us a lesson, then aren't we at a loss? Makes sense. Zoro nodded, feeling that Luffy was right.
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.